All right. Good morning, everybody. Let's get our heads right on a Monday victory, double victory Monday here on Ben and Woods, 97.3, The Fan, San Diego's, number one sports station, and then some, Hope you had a great weekend. We'll talk about ours. We'll talk about what a great weekend it was at Petco Park. Pretty much exactly what we needed. Yeah, it is at the end of the day. I mean, taking 2 or 3 from the Mets, even though you feel like you should have swept that series by far, you absolutely feel like you should have swept that series. I don't want to be a negative Nelly this morning, but man, it was nice. It was nice to end. It's nice to have a dub on a Sunday, to be honest, selfishly for me and Paulie. Guess what? Ben's still out on vacation. So I'm Woodsy, and I'll be doing all of it today with my pal Paul Reindl, who's our executive producer, sometimes co-host and fill in for Ben when he's on vacation.
Yeah,
right?
Don't worry, I won't ditch you, man.
Yeah, thank you.
I got you.
Thanks for being here,
I got
Paulie.
you. I'm a team
Thank
player.
you. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. You know, and speaking of vacation, we really spit the bit here on
the biggest
on this
idiots
week. We really are. I mean, it's not like we just started this.
No,
we know this week.
This is
this upcoming week,
5th summer.
Yeah, going into our 6th year, basically. We know that this week is a rough one. It's a rough one. It's why you see a lot of people after the Super Bowl just say, all right, see you guys in 2 weeks. They take their vacation. Then they work through Christmas because, you know, if you're a big football town or football show, they work all the way through Christmas because there's tons of football. Boy, the minute that Super Bowl's over, they're like, oh, I'll see you guys. Yep. I'll see you guys.
Like second week of February and the second week of July, or second or third week of July are always.
That's really your vacation.
That's when you go on vacation.
But we're gonna have 100%. We're gonna have some fun with it this week. I think we're gonna try. I mean, part of the reason I want to work is just to make Ben grind through this upcoming week. That really, like, just to make him come in and be like, are we sure we don't want to go on vacation? No, you just were on vacation. Let's grind through it. So he'll be back tomorrow. But man, it's good to see you guys.
4 interviews tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
so that he can just take it easy. Just ease back into the work.
No. He posted a picture that has disturbed me since I saw it. I mean,
what are we doing here?
He posted a picture of his feet on Twitter, and I really don't know how to describe it without getting an FCC violation. But he posted this picture of him laying on a beach chair by the pool, and his feet were his big toes were spread from each other, like almost like a Vulcan symbol, right?
Yeah.
But it's hooves is the best way to describe it. Phoenix Tree Rat in the chat. Hooves. He looks like he has cloven feet. He has hooves. I think Paulie's scrambling over there to put it up in the chat. For those of you that aren't in the chat, you can go to YouTube and watch it there, or just go to his Twitter and you can see his weird. He's got hooves.
What is happening?
What are those? He's got hooves. They're hooves. Hooves. So he says, like a crab claw. Yes, he has crab cloven feet. Also, it looks like he's about to, the feet get the.
Oh, God.
Right. That's what I thought of. That's where my head went when I saw him. I go, is he? No, not by the pool.
Ben!
Not out in public by the pool. He couldn't do that. Yeah, he's got hooves. Hooves. It's a funny word to say. Hooves. Yeah, that's proof he's the goat. He's a literal goat. The lower half of Ben is a real goat with with hooves. Yeah, he's in hooves. He's got hooves, I mean. So that is, somebody said, he says the way he's stretching his big toes is jarring. Look at my hooves, Daddy.
Yeah, they're so.
Look at my hooves.
Why is his big toe so far apart from the rest of his toes?
There's only one time a man's feet
cramping up.
But there's only one time a man's feet look like that, Paulie. And if that's what's going on, by the side of the play. I see kids around. That he should be in prison.
Yeah, we're never going to see Ben again.
Yeah,
for good reason.
So that should be illegal. So it looks like a beautiful day. Nice pool. He's enjoying himself. It's great. It's great. We're here, and but listen, I'm excited to be here, to be honest, because we've got a great show planned for you. I'm really excited about this one. We get a lot of emails that come through. Hey, any interest in talking to, I don't know, Lee Lowenfish? Maybe he wrote a book about scouting. Yeah, you know what? Okay. I'd love to talk to Lee. So we did.
We probably get for every 100 pitches that we get.
Yeah, we take one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're like the Gordon Gecko of
the one was Lee Lowenfish recently.
That's my fault, and I'll wear it. This could be mine too. But we're like the Gordon Gecko of radio. If you know the movie Wall Street, he says, Bud Fox, I look at 100 deals a day. I choose one. That's us. We're the Gordon Gecko of radio. But when the name Erik Kratz popped up, I go, I love him. I've seen him on podcasts. I've seen him. He's great with the media. Now, he is pretty much a lifetime backup catcher, which, again, is a role that fascinates me to no end. As a baseball fan, a baseball appreciator, a baseball lover.
He was on like 12 major league teams in 10 years. Yeah. And that's not even including the minor league contracts.
Signed one with the Padres.
But as far as making it to the major league level, he was on 12 teams in 10 years.
Bro, there's
like 4 different stints with the Phillies, a couple with the Yankees.
He's great. And like, I'm so fascinated. So he's got a new book out, and that's what he wants to promote. And I said, absolutely, done. It's called, what's it called? The Tao of the Backup Catcher.
Yep. And he wrote it with Tim Brown, who's a really good baseball writer.
So I'm elated to talk to Erik Kratz coming up at 8:35. Our boy in season Sammy will join us at 9:35. I know he's probably feeling the relief. Time to get a little break for Sammy. Of course, we're going to bother him on his first day of vacation. That's fine. He's always amenable to jump on Ben and Woods. We really appreciate it. Now, we tried to get another guest on today, and he texted Paulie back at 11 o'clock last night, and he was a little bit worse for wear. And I was at a concert with him. You know who it is. It's Trevor Hoffman. We tried to get him on. He's like, hey, I just got back from a bachelor party. I can't do it. I said, all right.
Was not expecting
I'm like, great. A bachelor party. Okay. Good for you, Hoffy. So we're going to try to get him on at some point this week, maybe. But
my favorite, real quick, on the pitches that we get, I get probably 2 or 3 a day, different interview opportunities, and most of them are just atrocious. The best one though is the headline will say like, "Hey, new book out on the life of Tom Brady."
Right.
And you're like, "Oh hell yeah,
I'll take Tom Brady."
Is he doing press? Like, this is great. And then you like read right at the bottom on the fine print, it's this no-name author wrote the book on Tom Brady. I'm like, well, never mind.
Yeah, we get a lot of those. So again,
they make you work.
Gordon Gecko.
Got one last week for Wilt Chamberlain.
He's dead,
another,
isn't he?
No, it wasn't Wilt Chamberlain. It was
that'd be tough.
It was oh my god, was it Magic? It was Kareem, and it was a book about Kareem, but not Kareem.
Doing the interviews. Okay.
Just gonna see if I can get that done for Ben. But
last day of vacation for Ben. Also National Pina Colada Day. Which definitely Pina Colada Day, which makes sense. Man, I had a weekend, I guess. It was a couple days off, and I'm back. I wasn't particularly great, wasn't particularly restful, it was just a weekend, the same old. I was able to experience something I've been talking about for a while. I finally jumped on it yesterday morning, grabbed both kids, took them down to Home State, Paulie, in Oceanside.
Oh, that's the breakfast taco?
It is the breakfast taco joint. And was kind of, you get the anxiety because I've been seeing pictures and the line's out the door always. And I'm like, all right, I got 2 little kids. They're both in their PJs still.
Do you get nervous that it may not live up to the hype?
No, that didn't bother me. What spins me out to no end is what's it going to look like when I pull up? Is there going to be 40 people in line? Am I going to have to pivot with 2? Because they're not waiting in line. And by them, I mean me. I'm not waiting in line at all. Pull up. I'm like, oh God. This is my process. This is what a mental case I am. The whole drive.
You picked a Sunday
morning. Opens at 8.
Okay.
Yep. So we're in the car at 7:50 and it's 15 minutes away. And honest to God, this is my process every day. This is how I live my life. It's terrible. Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, please, 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 please. The whole drive, which is like, you can't enjoy life that way. So I get up there, pull into the parking lot. There's one guy in line. I'm like, oh, pull up. Bo goes, what's this place? I go, it's Home State. I've been wanting to come here. Well, what do they have? Breakfast tacos. I don't want breakfast tacos. You
didn't tell them ahead of time?
No. I said, we're going to breakfast. I go, just shut up. You're going to eat what you get, and I'll get you something. I'll get you like a soda or something you're not supposed to have. I'll let you have it. Okay? Okay. Go in, Paulie. Order the breakfast tacos. Spectacular. Spectacular. Grabbed a couple for the missus. She was at home. And I had 3 of my own. Bo ended up eating one. Taylor drank lemonade. He did not have one single bite of anything. He didn't have any. They were fantastic. So again, we've talked before about the breakfast taco and how San Diego is way late to embrace the breakfast taco, as a lot of places have been. San Diego's proud of its breakfast burritos, and they should be. They're phenomenal, but it's too much. I don't have the willpower to take one, cut it in half, eat half. I just eat the whole thing, and then the whole day is ruined. The entire day is ruined. You have a cement log in your stomach all day, like, oh, it's so good. The breakfast tacos, they've hit perfectly. Now, this is not a paid endorsement. They don't pay me. I'm just telling you. Yeah, they were fan. No, yeah, I didn't. I paid full price. I paid like $38. I got like 6 breakfast tacos. Unbelievably good though. Had the bacon, egg, cheese, and potato, and then I had one called Don't Mess with Texas that had refried beans in it, eggs, potatoes. They're spectacular, and they're the perfect size. They're actually a little bigger than I wanted, to be honest with you, but they were beautiful.
They like the
fluffy
CD disc sized.
Yeah. Like, CD disc, flour, and magnificent.
I can get on board with that.
Oh my God, I loved it. I'm already craving them. I want to go back. Home State is what it's called. It's in Oceanside. They got a few locations, I think, in Southern California, but this is the only one in San Diego. Spectacular. And this blew my mind. Our beloved Paul Reindl. I feel like you've been lying to us not lying, withholding information. We've been over this. We haven't. We've been over Benihana many times on this show. I never knew you hadn't gone.
I've told you this.
There's no way.
Yes. It was like a year ago.
I would have berated you incessantly.
You did.
I did.
You did.
Well, that doesn't surprise me, though.
It was like a year ago, and I just said I have not actually been to Benihana. Haven't been there, and I refuse to ever order. Like, you know how they got the frozen food at Vaughn's or something. Yeah. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna get when I have it.
They DoorDash too.
Do they?
Oh yeah.
Probably not to me.
For a very, very pricey fee.
You sound like you know about this firsthand.
100%.
No, I wouldn't have wanted to do that.
No, you want the full experience.
First time, gotta go and get the full experience.
So jealous.
And so, yeah, I had never been. We were gonna go last year. That's what we talked about. And then we had like a vet emergency.
Yeah, I remember.
It was Daphne.
You had to bang it.
Yep. So now, it's starting to remember now.
Yep, now I get it.
So, and we just I don't know, forgot about it. Whatever, never went. So Friday afternoon, sit next to my wife, and I go, "Let's go out tonight. Let's go somewhere, do something." You know, we were looking at restaurants near the beach, maybe see the sunset, but you got to make those reservations more than 3 hours in advance. So we ended up going. She goes, "Hey, what about Benihana finally?" I'm like, Done.
I'm jealous.
Carlsbad, made a reservation, got in. It was phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
It's phenomenal.
I will say I pretty much starved myself all day.
Yes, which is what you got to do.
I don't eat breakfast often, and I chose not to eat lunch on Friday knowing that I'm eating good tonight. We sat down at 7:30, and the way they bring out the courses, as you know, but I looked at my phone. By the time we actually ate something of substance that wasn't soup or even their little salad bowl.
Salad's fantastic.
Salad's great. It was great.
The soup's fantastic.
But like, I'm talking like at least the shrimp for the table or something. It was like 8:40. I'm like, oh, this is it's a drawn out process. We didn't order appetizers.
Yeah.
Which only like 2 people at our table did.
Right.
Probably would have done that. But on the same hand, like I was stuffed afterwards. Like it's a ton of food.
It's so good. I do double fried rice because I like to eat one before and then one with.
Yeah, I
But that's
threw that
because I'm a
rice down.
disgusting pig.
The fried chicken fried rice.
Yes, it's unbelievable. Benihana rules. It rules.
Who doesn't get the upgrade? They say it was like $6. Like, we would highly recommend it. Everyone at the table did.
Get
It was
the
a
filet.
no-brainer.
Yeah, it's just amazing. Well, congratulations on your first. Your
You always
first
remember
time.
your
You
first.
always remember your first time. The volcano,
Oh yeah.
the train, ding 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 ding. The shrimp. Did he flip you a shrimp?
They don't do that.
They don't do it anymore.
I
Probably
don't-
because you hurt somebody.
I don't know if it was post-pandemic
So,
or
they
if
tell
somebody
you-
got hurt.
Hannah and I, one of our first, actually, no, our first trip away as a couple when we started dating, we go to Palm Springs and we go to the JW Marriott. And there's a Benihana or something it's like a Benihana or something, but
Hibachi.
It's hibachi, same bit. I think it was Benihana. I'm not kidding. There's a dad there with his kid. His kid was probably 8, 9, just awkward, playing on his like little mini Nintendo
iPad or
and the
something.
dad's like, hey, flip him one. He can do it. And the kid's like, I don't want to. And he's flipping one. And the guy was flipping, and the kid he couldn't do it. And you could see the dad like visibly like, oh God, you're worthless. Like you're so unathletic. It's like, dude, him catching a shrimp in his mouth isn't going to benefit him for anything in his entire life. Hannah and I were visibly shaken after this day. I looked and I go, please don't let me be like that with our kids if we ever have kids. It was unbelievable.
We went out to dinner one time. This is a couple
Catch
years
it,
ago.
you what?
We were staycationing in town, and we went to the hotel restaurant for dinner. We were sitting out on the patio, and there was family sitting next to us. You couldn't help but eavesdrop, right? There was a dad and a mom, and I would say like an 8 or 9-year-old boy and a slightly younger, like 6 or 7-year-old girl. And this girl was just not in the mood for dinner.
Yeah.
And it was annoying, but you're also like, it doesn't really bother me, whatever. Like, I know the parents are having a way worse time than I am right now. We're just like, I wish this girl would stop crying and yelling and throwing her food everywhere. Finally, we heard the dad. He was like psychologically damaging this poor girl.
Yeah.
He's like, you have sucked all the fun out of my life.
Jesus,
Nobody
dude.
wants to be around you when you act like this.
Oh God.
You're the reason your mom and I no longer have any fun. I'm like,
my God.
We're just sitting there like, oh my God,
Wow.
oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
What kind of parent could ever say that to their kids? We'll be right back here on Ben and Woods. I
wasn't trying to set you up.
I couldn't imagine two parents who have lost their minds completely, blaming their small children for a rough day. I could never, ever, Paulie, imagine that. It's my Ditty selection, my theme. I think you're going to like it this week. We got a lot of baseball to get to, man. A lot of baseball to get to, and I am very excited about that. Took 2 or 3 from the Mets. We'll get into all of that. Padres have a new draftee as well. We'll break down head for you on Ben and Woods. We'll do that coming up. Well, let's do that next. Welcome back, Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. No, it's not covers week again. We could do that. We've done that a million times. This is iconic movie scenes. Do not turn that down, though.
We've done something similar to this.
We have iconic
we did,
movie scenes. Hold on. Just let it hit real quick while you think about it. Woo, just let it wash all over you. Just like Mark Wahlberg and Reese Witherspoon on the roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, iconic.
We did a theme week of songs that were synonymous with movies.
Okay. Well, this is iconic movie scenes. Mix
Specific
it up a little
scenes.
bit. Yeah. I it's one of my favorites stories. My brother and I pulled on our wives.
That's a scene for sure.
That is a scene. We were at my parents had a lake house outside of Dallas, and we went out there for the weekend. We had our wives, my ex-wife, sorry, babe. And we were watching that movie, Fear, with Mark Wahlberg and Reese Witherspoon. And we're all watching it as a family. And my brother looks at me, and I looked at him.
Yeah, watching it together for the first time.
No, I'd seen it.
No, you had seen it. Okay.
We'd all seen it. Okay? My parents had not.
So you and your brother knew what was
So my brother looks at me and gives me the fingers up to his lips like, let's go smoke. That's when I was a smoker. I said, yeah. Like right in time, right when they
you don't want to watch that
right
scene
when they
with
put
mom.
the seatbelt on to get in
Like,
the roller coaster. So we walk outside, and our wives had to sit with my parents and watch that scene. And we are looking through the window, laughing hysterically as our wives are watching it with my parents, which was such a good bit at the time. Left them literally out to dry. With my folks. So there it is. Iconic movie scenes, Ben and Woods. Padres were drafting last night. I had forgotten that the draft was yesterday. So later in the day. And so I turned on the draft and, watched the first few picks and saw, who was it? Paul Cruz picked by the Pirates. No, Paul Skeens picked by the
Dillion.
Yeah,
Cruz?
Paul Skeens, Dylan Cruz, 1 and 2, Pirates Nationals. Two really, really good baseball players, man. One of those where the same team, they played for the same team, the LSU Tigers. And, you're going to look at those guys their entire career and be like, who's going to get there first? Who's going to, you can't really go wrong, in my opinion, with either pick. Now, we've talked ad nauseum about how the baseball draft is just way, 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 way different than the NBA draft, than even the NHL draft. I mean, Connor Bedard, he's going to be playing, I would imagine, for the Chicago Blackhawks. Wembanyama is going to be there on opening day.
Pretty much anybody in the first round of the NBA draft is an impact player.
NFL guys, sure, you might have a guy at quarterback sit, but for the most part, first rounders, they're going to play baseball. It's not
especially like your linemen.
Oh yeah,
your role players, like they're there to make an impact week 1. Not the case in baseball.
No, so I don't get super excited about it.
How could you?
And I don't get super down on it either. I will say, I'm just going to tell you what I read. People I talked to yesterday. Dylan Head is the gentleman that they picked, a high school player from Illinois. Left-handed high school outfielder. He's got great speed, 80 grade speed. My pals in Mad Friars wrote that up yesterday. Yeah, it said picked by a few pundits to be selected by San Diego. Now, I read something, too, from CBS last night. And, I mean, look, again, there's still time. He's a young man. But I read this last night, and I was less than impressed, actually, when I read it. Given his speed and the fact he hits from the left side, Head should log high batting averages on balls in play relative to most players with low end exit velocities. The prep product from Illinois would likely need his swing and or approach to be overhauled for him to be more than a bottom third of the lineup hitter whose defense keeps his bat in the lineup. Trent Grisham. They drafted Trent Grisham, the younger version of Trent Grisham. Now, again, if we ever see Dylan Head, there's also a better than decent chance he's moved in the next couple of years. It's just, look, man, I was our pal Steve Sugimoto had probably the tweet of the day yesterday, and our pal Steve tweeted this. AJ Preller recent draft history. Hudson Head in 2019. In 20 it was Cole Wilcox. In 2021 it was James Wood, and then of course Dylan Head, Rockstar GM, he said. So Hudson Head is with the Pirates. Cole Wilcox is with the...
I don't know where he went.
Was he the Nats or he may be the Pirate? I don't know. I don't remember. James Wood is with the Nats, and now Dylan Head is a San Diego Padre draft pick. So we'll
Cole
see.
Wilcox with the Rays.
The Rays, that's right. That's right. He was he in the... I don't even remember what deal. There's been so many deals over the years, Paulie. I get them all confused.
Blake Snell trade?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe Blake Snell. But yeah, so I mean, look, I'm not going to get too excited about Dylan Head because he's 18 years old, and I'm also not going to get too down on the pick. If they see something in him, he's a very fast outfield. Like, what's his comp? I mean, no one really knows what a comp is. Is it Juan Pierre? Is it Ben Revere? Is it Trent Grisham? We just don't know yet. So, it's not an impact player. Really, there aren't any real impact players in the Major League Baseball draft yet. That's just how it works. So they got their guy. They're not going to pick again for a while. So there you go. There's your Dylan Head update. We will get into our Padres wrap-up next here on Ben and Woods. Talk about the game yesterday. Just a brilliant, brilliant performance from local ace Joe Musgrove. Can't say enough good things about Joe Musgrove and the job he turned in yesterday. And the captain is back. He's back. And what happens?
Fun to watch.
What happens? Starts to get scorching hot, and now we have to take a breather for the All-Star break. So here we go. We're back.
Man, he's like, in the chamber.
He's
right
in the chamber.
now.
He's just dying to hit seeds, and he's finally hitting seeds, and it's like, now why don't you take a breather? Why don't you get a few days off? No, we'll get into all that, and we'll take your calls. Excited, though, man. I mean, obviously, winning 2 or 3 is big. That's big, 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 big. And we'll get into that next right here on Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Welcome back. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Benjamin and will be returning from Santa Barbara today. He'll be back full strength tomorrow. Ben, Woods, Paul. Paulie, great job. Great job. We got to replay that prank call later in the show when we run out of gas, which is inevitable. Tired, man. Tired.
I'll have that for you about 9:20.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then maybe again at 9:30. We had a really fun show on Friday. We had a really solid show. I was very proud of 3 hours and 45 minutes of our show. And then we opened the phones and it just went haywire. And I beat myself up for it the entire weekend. I really did. That's how I roll. So listen, let's check traffic. We'll get into the Padres wrap-up. Let's start talking about some victories here on Ben and Woods.
From the premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the Premier Auto family, here's Kelly Danick.
Pretty good time to be out on the roads, guys. Really not showing any big surprise. There is an accident in North County, southbound side of 15 Rainbow Valley. Fortunately, it's not seem to be causing any slowing. And eastbound King Freeway, just before College, we have reports of a trash can in that right lane to watch out for. The Big O Tires Clear Ride, westbound 8 from El Cajon all the way through Hotel Circle. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I love winning, man. I love winning. You hear what I'm saying? It's like better than losing.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Miss any of yesterday's Padres game?
Did you catch a game last night?
Well, we've got you covered.
Thank you.
It's the Padres Wrap-Up with Ben and Woods.
Go! It's our house right here, baby.
Presented by Hamul Casino. With thrilling slots and tables and all the best rewards, Hamul Casino has all the fun you're looking for. Hamul Casino, fun above all else. On 97.3 The Fan.
That is the ball game, and that is a winner. This about damn time. Scherzer is set. Here's the pitch. And Manny gets a hanging breaking ball. Hits it a ton. Deep to left field. Way back. Gonna go. Second level of balconies in the Western Meadow Building. And a 3-run homer in the bottom of the first for Manny Machado. The Padres jump out in front of the Mets and Max Scherzer. 0-2. The pitch to Alvarez. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Another changeup. And Musgrove with back-to-back Ks to end the fourth inning. The Mets leave them loaded. Here's the 3-0. Manny swings, hits it in the air to deep right field towards the corner. McNeil's back, turns around. Gonna go! Petco porch for Manny Machado. His second home run of the day. And a 5-0 Padre lead in the fifth. Here's the 1-1. Line the other way, into left center and a base hit. Canna gets to it pretty quickly. Sanchez going to be waved. He's going to score. RBI single, Trent Grisham. And a 6-0 Padre lead. Here's the pitch from Morejon. And that's hit in the air to left center field. Long run, Soto going back into the gap. On the move, reaches out, can't make the catch. And it hops up against the base of the wall. Guillorme going to score easily. Nimmo on his way. He's going to score. It's a 2-run double for Mark Canha. And now 6-2 Padres in the eighth. Cosgrove comes set and ready, holds the belt, looks at Alvarez and deals. The 0-1 pitch, grounded up the middle, kicks off the right side of the mound. Bogarts to the right of the bag at second, has it, and the throw to first is in time. The ball game is over as Tom Cosgrove comes out. Gets the final 3 outs here in the ninth. The Padres beat the Mets 6-2. They take the series 2-1, and they wrap up this final homestand of the first half with 5 wins and just 1 loss.
5 out of 6. So we'll take it. I mean, it isn't always easy, but you know, we've done it in different fashions, and we needed to finish strong, and hopefully we get to sit on some confidence for a little while and come back second half. We know we got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I mean, 5 out of 6, it's great. It's exactly what we needed. And again, you feel like Friday night's game, we'll get into that too, slip through your fingers or through your toe, I guess is the way to look at that on Friday night. But very encouraged by what I've seen from the guys, and really, you know, it boils down to timely hitting and big hits. And Manny Machado came through with 2 of those yesterday. I mean, he absolutely owns Max Scherzer. Just call him daddy, dude, if you're Max Scherzer. And I'll say this about the Mets, you know, went into that series not really knowing what to expect. They're the laziest defensive team I think I've ever seen in my life. In my life, I've been watching baseball a long time. There were probably 7 or 8 plays over the weekend that I went, what? Like I would, if I'm a Met fan, I lose my mind. I was texting with our resident Met fan, Italian Paul, Frank Marchese, who runs the board for Padre games. He's got to sit and listen to Manny just dominating Max yesterday. He texted me, he goes, this is hell. At least they won the game I went to, which was Friday night. But sloppy, dude. And I mean sloppy. Now, we had some slop too. We had some absolute slop this weekend as well. But, hey, you found a way to get it done. You won 2 of 3, which is exactly what the doctor ordered. You would have loved a sweep, honestly. But the Padres sit here at the break, 43-47, Paulie. 6 games out still in the wild card. 8.5 games back in the division. The Dodgers have gone on a little surge again, won 4 straight going into the break. It's going to be a dogfight at the end. And I like what you said, and I heard Braden talking about this too. The Padres, after the break, they're going to have a chance to make some ground because you're playing.
I mean, get like right back into it.
Absolutely. And that's got to be exciting. That's got to be really exciting. This
doesn't need to happen over the course of 3 weeks, a month, whatever.
No, like if you go out and handle business in the beginning part of the second half, yeah, you're right back in this thing, man. They're going to have a tough road.
Miami and Arizona lead the wild card race. San Francisco is in 3rd.
Yep.
And then Philly and Milwaukee are both half a game out.
Okay.
And then it's the Padres 6 games back. So you're 5.5 back of Philly.
Right.
And you start the second half of the season with not 3, but 4 games in 3 days. There's a odd scheduled doubleheader on Saturday.
I remember talking to when we played golf with Matt Strom and the schedule was out.
We mentioned
it and he didn't know.
Because we were we thought maybe we'd go out there that weekend.
Yeah, we were thinking about doing we're trying to set up a flyaway with some listeners. And we were looking at some dates on the calendar. And I go, ooh, Philly may be cool. After the break, you travel out there, right? And then we we do the show on Friday, maybe somewhere from Philly. Mm-hmm. This is all pipe dream.
It's not happening.
It's not happening.
Friday.
It's right. We're going to be broadcasting here, I think, on Friday. We wanted to try to plan to go out there Friday. And he goes, wait, what? And we go, yeah, there's a doubleheader on Saturday. He goes, what are you talking about? And I go, it's right here. You pitch for the Phillies. He's like, why wouldn't we have a doubleheader? I go, I don't know. I have no idea.
January.
Yeah, I go, I don't know. I don't make the schedule. He goes, this is ridiculous. This is stupid. And I go, yeah. And we're probably going to see Matt Strom in one of those games, right? Old friend alert to be sure. But
yeah, is he starting right now?
He's doing a mix of both.
He's not on the scheduled starting pitchers for Philly, but if he's back in the pen, we'll definitely see
Matt Strom at some point.
But I mean,
probably trying to get Juan Soto.
Yeah. But talk about it, like, dude, 5.5 back from Philly, and you start with 4 games right there.
I mean, this is it. It's going to be. My stomach's a wreck already. It's already a wreck thinking about the second half. I know a lot of Padre fans probably share my sentiment, and I'm optimistic. That's all we have is optimism and hope. And sure, yeah. Apparently Xander got a cortisone shot yesterday, so he was walking out after the game, wrist kind of wrapped up. And they were asking him about what his plans are. And he said, man, honestly, it was such a rough first half, I think health-wise, injury-wise, that I'm probably not even going to pick up a bat, which I think is a good thing. Let that thing heal. The cortisone will help. Let it course through your body.
It's different for everybody.
Right.
I hope that Manny Machado, I'm assuming he's back in Miami for a few days maybe. I don't know.
Not.
Could be home.
The big house here.
Wherever he's at, I hope he has a bat and he is working out every morning.
Do you? I hope he doesn't do anything.
Because he is so locked in right now. I'm thinking if I'm Manny, I want to stay in the cage. I want to stay hot as I can.
I want all these guys to shut it down. Joe said that he may take his girlfriend down to Mexico and do a little camping out, which is very Joe. And what's good. Whatever you guys need to do to recharge the batteries, because they know. And there's even a tone when you listen to Bob. I listened to Bob in the post-game press conference yesterday, and he was saying it's kind of a sigh. It's kind of a we got a lot of work to do. I mean, the task ahead is daunting. There is no question. I mean, it is daunting. 43-47, you have got to make up some ground.
Is there anything to be said for knowing that it's time to roll? Like, they were struggling in April, they were struggling in May, they struggled in June. But we always were able to fall back on, hey, there's still a lot of baseball left.
Yeah.
Now there's not a lot of baseball left. There's 72 games left. And you have some significant room to climb out of the cellar here. So I just wonder if there's anything mentally, even subconsciously for these guys where to know that we can't, there's no excuses. We can't say, oh, there's a lot of baseball left. There's a lot of baseball. There's not. There's 2.5 months.
No, there's not. I mean, does that
kick your ass into gear a little bit?
I mean, if you can't kick your ass into gear after last year, I don't know what to tell you. It's not going to come from me. It's not going to come from Bob Melvin. It's not going to come from the fans. I mean, the fans have absolutely done their job. Sold out again every single day over the weekend. Petco looked amazing. You guys showed up. Paulie, I don't know. I mean, it's on these guys. If they want to go down, I'd love to see them go down fighting till the very end. And there's no guarantee that I don't know what their odds are to make the playoffs as of now, but it's certainly, listen, tying the season series against the Mets. You don't know what kind of run the Mets are going to go on. You don't know what position the Mets are going to be in. Are they going to get rid of Max Scherzer? Sounds like he's ready to go at this point. He is offered to waive a no trade. Who wants Max Scherzer at this point? I mean, he throws 93. He's not the same Max Scherzer he was, to be sure. We had a really good chance of beating Verlander on Friday night. That didn't happen. But yeah, man, I'm really interested to see what this team's made of, because again, every other team is recharging right now. They're resetting their batteries, their bodies, and every other team is hungry as hell too. So we'll see who's the hungriest and who can fight the hardest the second half. But they have a ton of work ahead of them, and it starts in Philly. You got a chance to make up ground right off the bat. Those are huge, huge games.
Yeah, you're not playing, the Royals,
right,
and you hope to sweep them, and then you got to wait and see what happens with the Phillies and the Pirates who are playing. No. You are playing an opponent who is 5.5 ahead of you. You got a significant chance to make up some ground here. You teased heading into this segment a few minutes ago. The captain is back. We have talked about it a ton. Ben has taken at least 6 or 7 victory laps.
Oh, I thought you were going to say vacations.
He's halfway there. He has taken several victory laps on, the Padres go as Manny Machado goes.
Sure.
And Manny Machado he's on fire right now. I was reading through Kevin Acey's daily newsletter this morning, talking about runners in scoring position. And Manny has said, for as much as he has pushed back on reporters saying too big a deal has been made of the Padres' struggles with runners in scoring position, it's no coincidence at all that he has 6 hits in his last 9 at bats in that circumstance. And by the way, the Padres went 4-1 in that stretch. Says here, the win concluded a homestand in which Machado went 11 for 23, 4 homers, and he drove in a third of the Padres' 39 runs.
Fantastic. It's exactly what you need from the captain. It's exactly what you need from Manny. It's exactly what you want. If you're a Padres fan, he's got to get going and stay going. And
the bulk of Acey's newsletter today is how this is not uncommon for Manny.
No,
he goes on these stretches. A lot of times he has 2 stretches over the course of a year where he's the best hitter in baseball.
Best player in baseball.
Not just good. Like, he is on fire. And AC makes a good point. He goes, we don't have time for 2 of those stretches. He just needs to have one long,
prolonged, extended stretch.
He'll cool off eventually and come back down to earth, but probably won't have another chance to go just insane again.
Unless it's it's in October, and you got to get to October first. So again, they still have a ton of work to do. Still remain hopeful. Can't say enough good stuff about Joe Musgrove yesterday. Joe Musgrove has really battled through some stuff this year. Now, most of it is of his own doing. So you drop a kettlebell on your toe, delays the start to your season, you're going to have to play a little catch up. You decide to take a barefoot jog on essentially flaming hot concrete and burn the bottom of your feet. You're going to have to figure that out. He's got bursitis. He's figuring out a way to pitch through that and pitch very, very well. He was electric yesterday. That's exactly what we needed from Joe, and the offense picked him up. So hopefully there's some reinforcements coming too in the second half. We got to get some pieces back in the bullpen. The bullpen was shaky again this weekend. Let's see. I got some numbers here. Robert Suarez did not look great. Had a little appearance with the Storm on Sunday. That's fine. You don't really care about that. You just want health more than results right now from Robert Suarez.
We've talked about that last week. So many on rehab assignments, especially, or any time you're in the minors. There's so many guys that are just working on things.
Look at Manoah. Manoah went down for the Blue Jays.
That's what we were talking about.
He went down to the
the complex,
and was pitching there. He got lit up, came back to the big leagues, and through 6 innings, gave up 1 run.
And all the Blue Jays coaches after that outing were like, we don't even care about the line.
Yeah. And
we had him working on a few things.
Came back to the show and had a really, really good outing. I think he picked up a win too. So, so Robert Suarez coming back would be a huge lift for this bullpen. And Steven Wilson, those are the 2 guys that you really, really need back, in my opinion, more than anybody. And that will really, really help. Nice to see Tim Hill rebound a little bit, lowering his home ERA.
Jarring to see Tim Hill.
Jarring. Yeah, shocking. The haircut.
Who the hell is this?
Sometimes you have to switch it up. You have to, and he was in dire need of a fresh start. And boy, he chopped his hair off and has looked pretty good since. So, but yeah, there's pieces on this team that we need to figure out what to do with. Bullpen's still a little thin, so hopefully everyone gets some rest, recuperates. But great series. Don't want to take anything away from the guys taking 2 or 3 this weekend against the hated New York Mets and Buck Showalter. Oh my Lord, I can't stand that team.
Just can't beat these guys.
Nice series, Pete. Real nice series from the Polar Bear. We'll get into the other games and a lot more here on Ben and Woods coming up next. Welcome back, Ben and Woods, 97.3, The Fan. I'm Woodsy, that's Paulie Reindl, Benjamin Higgins, back from Santa Barbara at some point today. I wonder if he's on the road now. Probably not. Probably going to sleep in a little bit. I love to get out of town on vacation, like last day vacation. Even if my flight's at 5 p.m., I'm not doing anything. Like I pack, just get out there. It's time to go, But I know Ben's probably going to get up, play. He'll probably get home at midnight tonight and walk in
36
tomorrow.
rounds of golf.
Yeah, 36 holes today.
Holes,
yeah, he'll walk in tomorrow looking like the Walking Dead. And I'm like, what happened? He's, well, we didn't leave till 10, the 5-hour drive. And that's when I'm going to come over the table at. I'm just going to jump over the table.
Yeah.
Guys got to start taking this seriously. I was watching, he's screwed because when I feel a little down, Paulie, or a little bit in need of a boost, I put on The Last Dance. It's still on Netflix.
Yeah.
And yesterday afternoon, Padres were over, they won. And my kids were playing ball in the street with their friends. And my wife was out there with her friend. And I had the whole house to myself. So I put on The Last Dance again. And I'm watching The Last Dance again. And I go, I'm going to kill this guy when he comes back. He is Steve Kerr or Scott Burrell. And I am Michael Jordan. I'm going to come across the table at him. Right?
Yeah.
They're showing the scene if you haven't seen Last Dance on Netflix, please watch it. It's so good. They're talking about when he was filming Space Jam. And I'm blown away every time they talk about it, Paulie. He says, yeah, I'll do the movie, but I got to get myself back in basketball shape. So we got to figure something out. They said, oh, no problem. We'll build you an arena.
Yeah.
So they did a giant arena.
Full court, on set,
full court, weight room, there in the gym. So this dude had a 6 a.m., 7 a.m. call time every day. Would go in and shoot this movie with Bill Murray until 7 p.m. Then all these NBA All-Stars would show up at 7, and they'd all go hoop for 3 hours. And then he would lift weights after the game. And I'm looking at that going, how? It's the drive to be the best. And he said, this is what got me. He goes, if somebody's going to come watch me for 3 hours, I owe it to them to give them my very best. And I went, I'm going to put that on a plaque and put it in the studio. Someone's going to listen to Ben and Woods for 4 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours, whatever, an hour. We owe it to them to give them our very best. Now, that's what we try to do every single day, but it doesn't always work out that way. We're playing a man down.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to come to Jesus tomorrow when he gets in. If he comes in tomorrow looking like he got home at midnight, oh, he's just dead. He's a dead man. He's a dead man. Man, I was so happy to see the Pods rebound on Saturday because Friday night was one of the tougher losses of the season. We haven't even talked about that yet. But, man, when you go to turn the ball over to Blake freaking Snell these days, there is an inner peace that you haven't really had with Blake Snell.
Come on.
In a while. In the beginning parts of any season he's been here. Second half, Blake Snell has been electric. This has all been first half Blake Snell. You hope that he can keep this thing rolling. The numbers that he's put up, Paulie.
I mean, name the pitcher. He's
better.
He's been better.
Staggering. Absolutely staggering numbers out of Blake Snell. So in his last 7 starts, 42 innings, so an average of 6 innings a start.
Probably his biggest bugaboo, right?
Right. Almost 12 strikeouts per start. His ERA 0.64.
So 1 run.
5-1 record. How did he lose one? We remember how he lost the one. It's staggering. So on Saturday, my man gets out there and goes 6 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs, 3 walks, 11 Ks. He has been spectacular. And we needed some help. He needed some help because Matt Batten was called up. And hey, I know I'm not the only Padre fan. That day when the lineup came out that went, are we serious? We're an unserious franchise. If this is the lineup we're rolling out there, I'm guilty as charged. I will raise my hand. And you listening, you should do the same because I know you did exactly what I did. When David Peterson, I believe is his name, David or Doug? David Peterson. Yeah, Drew. Close. Just keep guessing if you don't know. Drew Peterson. Came out there and he had about a 7 ERA. And so the reasoning behind the Matt Batten in the lineup, the reasoning behind Brandon Dixon in the DH spot is, hey, I'm just going to stack my lineup with righties. Juan Soto is going to be in there. I think Grish was in there because the Zokar's still down. So, hey, I'm going to stack as many righties as I can. I saw the lineup. I actually texted my wife about it, and I go, you seen today's lineup? So
what are we doing?
I said, we're on serious. I said, this is urgent. We had a heartbreaking, devastating game last night. Loss. And we're running this out? Are we serious right now? Glad I didn't have a show to come on and talk about because I would look like a big idiot because we won 3-1. And
Saturday morning,
one of those guys that I was questioning why he was up, why he was in the lineup. Great game. Congratulations.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Peterson, and that's it in the air to deep left field. Tommy Pham's going back, looking up, gonna go! Matthew Batten with his first major league home run. A 2-run shot in the second inning, and it's 3-0.
Oh, needed it so bad. And for Blake, it had the feel again of, oh God,
Thank you.
We're not going to give this guy any runs. He's going to go out there and give up 1, and we're going to get smoked.
Take an L.
Yep, he's going to take an L. Matt Batten, I apologize. Brandon Dixon drove in a run as well. Sorry. I'm clearly a hack that has no idea what he's talking about. Right? I mean,
save that, Paulie.
I will save that. Yeah, you can save it. I don't care. We got enough of Ben. I'm clear. I'll say it. I'll give you a fresh one. I'm clearly a hack that has no idea what he's talking about. Because when the lineup came out, I wasn't even mad. I was lit. I go, what? Come on, dude. We're dying here. This is the best we got. Now, again, man, it's, listen, sun shines on everybody someday. And that day was Matthew Batten's day and made a hell of a defensive play as well. Just it was a cool story. It's great. Now, If he's getting big ABs throughout the course of the season, okay, maybe there's a problem. But, man, for one day, came in, got the job done. Blake Snell gets the dub.
I want to talk about Blake Snell. I normally really sincerely would not give an S about the All-Star game and snubs or anything like that. And maybe it's just because Snell's our guy. He's a Padre. But, I saw a video of him talking with reporters after the game this weekend, and he's like, yeah, I would have loved to play there. Who wouldn't want to be in their hometown, pitching in the home ballpark that they grew up going to? He's lobbying. He's begging to get a chance. And then 4 NL starting pitchers got scratched, I think it was.
Yeah.
And got replaced. And he wasn't one of them. And I'm looking at Kodai Senga, and I'm looking at some of the other names of guys that got added to the National League roster. And I go, he dominates them numbers-wise.
He can't pitch, though. He can't pitch.
He could pitch an inning.
No. He pitched Saturday.
That's
the game's tomorrow.
He's eligible to pitch an inning.
Sunday, Monday,
Tuesday.
3 day. I don't want him on. I don't want him.
I probably don't either.
I don't want him. I love the, hey, you've been named, but they have to have guys that they can count on to throw. I think that's
everything.
That's probably
everything
the
that I read was
behind.
Saturday was the cutoff. If you pitch on Saturday, you
could pitch. I don't want
throw
him
an inning, throw a batter, whatever on Tuesday night.
Do they have the stupid 3-batter rule in the All-Star game? They better not. They better not.
Now, I don't really care. I'm with you. I think it's probably best that he gets some rest. I know he's going home to Seattle.
It is funny.
He already woke up. He's going to be 10 minutes away from the ballpark.
And that's the funny part is that he's out his window, I can hear the All-Star game.
When's he going with his friend, just buying tickets? Going to be sitting in section 115.
Does he go? Does he go to the game?
I don't know.
It's to see his homies, I guess.
But it's more just it's a respect thing. I mean, but the fact that he really wants to, you don't see anybody lobbying to get to the All-Star game. Maybe a young up-and-coming superstar that wants to go for the first time. Blake Snell's been there before. Manny Machado's not arguing to get into the All-Star game. He's been there before.
No.
But Blake Snell's I would have
Has he never been?
Snell?
Yeah.
I thought he's been one.
Once? Okay.
But he's dude, this is my hometown. I grew up going to games here. How cool would it be to pitch in the All-Star game, and the MLB won't, the players won't bring him in, the coaches won't bring him in.
The tinfoil hats are out. People be like, hey, it's conspiracy against the Padres and Peter Seidler for spending all that money. And Ben had that taken here the other day. I just let him go last week. I just let him roll. I don't know.
Ha-Seong Kim should be an all-star,
He should.
but I can wrap my head around he's not a household name. Blake Snell's a Cy Young winner. former All-Star, like been in the World Series. Like everybody in baseball knows who Blake Snell is.
Ray says, let him throw out the first pitch. That's even worse, man.
Yeah.
That is even worse. But the fans do vote for the starters. And then the players and coaches, I believe, vote for the pitchers and the reserves and
replacement players
and all that. So, yeah.
I just don't get it.
I don't get it either. The numbers are staggering. I mean, if this...
He's not on some hot streak. He's more than half of the season so far, he has been dominant.
But if they're looking, this is what bugs me. They may just be looking at his win-loss record, right? And if they're looking at his win-loss record, they'll go, 6-7? We can't have an all-star that's 6-7.
I would hope the players and the coaches aren't that naive, but maybe
I think you'd be surprised. I really think that you would be surprised. So anyway, he's deserving. Ha-Seong Kim, massively deserving. I'm telling you, it sounds terrible to say, and I want them resting. We have ahead of us a monumental task, and if it works out, Paulie, it will be the most fun 3 months of baseball maybe that San Diego has ever seen. If it works out the way we want it to, and this team goes into the playoffs, and I don't think they'll have any choice if they make the playoffs. I think by math they will go into the playoffs red hot. I think they have to be by the way the math will work
unless
out.
they don't lose a game in August or something.
So yeah, Ben says let him stay red-assed and shove the rest of the year. He gave the league a big bird that start on Saturday. Yeah, just was locked in, man.
Yeah.
Looked really, really good. He's been great. He's been great. And of course it begs the question, do you look at re-signing him? I think you have to. I think you absolutely have to look at re-signing Blake Snell. I think you have to make that phone call today.
What's he at? Is he still at the same rate, like $13 million a year?
I think he's at 13.
That's what we got him with.
Get him.
I mean, dude, he's pitching like a $35-40 million.
Bro, there's no question pitching better than the $40 million pitcher we saw this weekend.
What I mean,
better, way better.
Who are the 40? DeGrom,
Garrett Scherzer.
Cole,
is Verlander a $40 million
Verlander,
guy?
I think. Yeah. So out of those four,
give me Blake
and then
Snell.
throw in Blake Snell. Out of those five, who are you taking?
Give me Blake freaking Snell. He's so dialed right now. I love what he said too. He says, I've always known I was a 4-pitch pitcher. And they joke about it on the broadcast. Oh, he's got to put this in timeout, put that in timeout. He's back to being 4 pitches. And when you see, I watch a lot of baseball. I have never seen swings against any other pitcher that are as bad as they are against Blake Snell from big leaguers. And I'm talking 58-foot curveballs. You have no chance. There's something about his deception. There's something about his arm speed. There's something about the slot. And there's something about the spin of his pitches right now, Paulie, that makes him the most unhittable pitcher in baseball. He's the best pitcher in baseball right now today. And
how much do you attribute to Gary Sanchez?
A lot. I mean, they're really comfortable.
You could look at all of Blake Snell's starts this year and say, you could say since May 1st, he's been pretty damn good. But since May 25th, I think it was, he's been almost unhittable.
He's been lights out. He's been lights out.
I'm pretty sure that's right around when they got Gary Sanchez, that last week of May.
There was some record. It was best ERA and a catcher's first start, in the first 8 games with a catcher. It's like 0.56 or whatever. He's been unbelievable. So I don't know, because again, if he walks, you can't trade him. If you're going to go on some historic run,
you're going to need him.
He's probably your game 1 starter.
You can't trade anybody. You're buyers. You're not sellers.
Right. And so if you're not going to trade him, I guess, the other way to do it is, okay, we're going to get every bit of pitching out of him we can, and then let somebody else pay him $25 million a year, whatever it is he's going to command. That's one way to do it, but somebody's got to replace him in the rotation next year. And I'm not seeing 4 or 5 guys in AAA or AA knocking down the door next season.
All right, let's just throw it up. 3 years, 75. Does that get it done?
No, probably not.
Because he's a Boris.
Probably going to want 5, 6.
He's a Boris guy, I think. Right?
He is a Boris guy. I don't know, man. I really don't know. He is going to he's going to command a lot, and he's pitching his ass off right now. So very, very encouraging game on Saturday. Shout out to Matthew Batten for a phenomenal game. I needed that bomb so badly. But yeah, so that's great. Coming up next, we'll get back to some of the regular features on this show that we've got away from on Friday. We'll do Don't Do This. And I am massively perturbed and skeeved out by the story coming out of Evanston, Illinois.
I did not like reading this one.
No, I'm still confused on some things. I want to talk about it. But Northwestern football under some fire. Do that. Got a great do this for you guys, too. Stay right here with us. It's Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Don't do this.
It's time for Don't Do This.
What were you thinking?
3 stories from the world of sports that make us all shake our heads.
Why? How many times do I have to tell you?
Oh, I'm sorry, I fudged up, guys.
You idiot. You moron.
The apple sometimes does fall from the tree.
Don't Do This
Do not tweet that.
with Ben and Woods
I like a Nickelback song or two.
on 97.3 The Fan.
I got to get right into this story, Paulie. I was pretty disturbed when I read it. I'm a bit confused as to how it helps. But listen, we're talking about Northwestern University and their head coach, Pat Fitzgerald, been suspended a couple of weeks, Paulie, and they without pay in the middle of the summer when there's nothing really going on. This is a slow sports week. That is. It's a slow sports week. And I think that's the last thing they could have ever hoped for, the Northwestern Wildcats, that this is going to be one of the bigger stories of the week. And I think it should be, the more I read about it. So a couple of players, former players, speaking speaking anonymously, talk about some of the things that are going on in the program. And look, we've all seen and heard and read, you remember the Penn State stuff that was just horrifying and horrendous and disgusting. And then you come here and you're like, oh, so I really had to do a deep dive on some of this, and I didn't really like it. Again, they're coming off a 1-11 season in 2022. They were hazing. So some of the older players were hazing upperclassmen. So there's something that they see value in the hey freshman, go get my breakfast.
Pay your dues.
Freshman, go get my jersey. Freshman, fine. Okay, there's limits and there's a line and they definitely crossed the line. They were talking about running. And so the first time I read it, I go, oh, he's just running them. He's making them run like crazy, and that sucks. And I would hate to do that.
That's what I thought. But running until they throw up? What are we doing?
But at the end, probably going to make you a better player, make you better whatever. Oh, you screwed up, you got to run. No. That's not what running is in this case. It's a younger player, would be restrained by several upperclassmen. Then they would start dry humping him in a dark locker room. I fail to see the benefit of that. I really, really do. It's very creepy. It's you wouldn't want that. It doesn't make you a better football player by any stretch of the imagination. Don't care what you say. I think, again, there are different forms of hazing. And an intern coming here and me saying, hey, go grab me a cup of coffee. That's a form of hazing, but it's also not. I'm not hurting him. Now, me dragging him into the supply closet and take your clothes off, I'm going to rub up against you. That's not hazing. That's sexual assault, dude.
Yep.
It's different. It's completely different. It's like we all love the movie with Jack Nicholson and Tom Cruise, A Few Good Men, right?
Mm-hmm.
They had the Code Red. The Code Red was ordered to try to make them better Marines because you're screwing everybody when you fall back on a run. We're going to try to make you a better Marine. We're Code Red your ass.
Right.
This isn't Code Red. This is sexual assault. This is me rubbing up against you nude as you're being restrained. Doesn't make you a better football player. You're not going to be quicker off the edge.
Right.
It's repugnant. And the fact that,
well, so the main point of the story was that the head coach not only knew, like encouraged. They had a sign.
He would clap over players' heads, and that's what these guys are saying. Again,
you would see in practice players would go like this, and that means
get his ass,
that wide receiver or whatever. But then when you look over and you'd see the coach, if a player fumbled a football, he'd go like this, which is the coach.
You better run him.
Telling the upperclassmen, the captains, the leaders of the team, run this dude.
It's so gnarly. And then there was another thing that they did called the car wash. And they would bring in like nude players and like spray them down with a hose. And make them spin around and spray them down with a powerful hose.
Yeah, power hose.
Power
washing hose. Like the players were like, this, it hurt. It really hurt.
There was a whiteboard in there that appeared to be some hazing ritual ideas. I mean, they suspended this guy for 2 weeks, but a lot of people are now calling for his resignation. And hey, listen, man, if it happened on your watch, you're the head football coach, you got to go. You got to go.
You'd have to go even if you really didn't know about it.
Yeah, you still got to go.
And if they can prove that you not only knew, but were encouraging it and soliciting for it, like,
horrific.
You're gone. You're done.
Yeah, they told ESPN Fitz absolutely knew about hazing in the program. He absolutely failed by not intervening. He knew, should have made it stop. If he truly did not know, he should not be the head coach. So that's it, man. It's a really disturbing story that's going to get a lot more oxygen this week.
Well, from one college coach to another, Bob Huggins.
Yeah, I
back
remember
on
Bob.
Don't Do This. I think if you went to the Don't Do This Hall of Fame, it's the Antonio Brown Don't Do This Hall of Fame, but Bob Huggins probably has his own wing by now. He has been on this list several times, especially over the last few months. The DUI, the awful comments that he made on a radio show. Yep. His daughter was on Don't Do This for her weird reasoning behind her father's DUI. Yeah. So
he got a DUI because he collected beer cans to recycle.
That's what. Yes.
Yeah, there weren't just beer cans. There was Sprite back there. There was Squirt.
So following his DUI arrest, he resigned from West Virginia as men's basketball coach. But turns out he didn't. He did not resign. Wow. I'm reading from ESPN. Weeks after Bob Huggins announced his resignation following a DUI arrest, he claims that he never formally resigned last month, and he will sue the university if he is not reinstated. Now, the university, which already has announced the hiring of their assistant coach as the interim head coach, they said they are not going to reinstate Bob Huggins and will defend themselves against any allegations that are made.
Probably just a money play. You know, at the end of the day, he probably knows he's out of a gig. And well, technically, my wife sent the text that said I resigned. I never actually resigned.
You haven't fired me either, so I'm ready for.
I'm ready. I'll
practice.
be at camp. Yeah, he's got to go. He's got to go away. He's got to go away. There's too many missteps the last couple months, I think, for Bob Huggins. He's had a great career.
It said, it says last month, Huggins announced his resignation through a statement that said recent actions do not represent the values of the university or the leadership expected in this role.
My wife sent it. That's what he says, essentially. Like they took a text from my wife, but yeah, he's got to go away. So let's get something more positive.
DD Mega Doo-Doo.
He's the most exciting player in baseball, and I know we play in a city with Fernando Tatis Jr., but you cannot deny that Ellie De La Cruz is the
right now in this moment.
There is no one better than Ellie De La Cruz. He's the most exciting player in baseball, and proven by something he did on Saturday.
De La Cruz goes. Pitch called a strike, throw down on a skip late. Another steal for Ellie De La Cruz.
Second.
Gets base hit, gets on first, steals second. Very next pitch.
It's off again. Pitch down and in, fade throw. There's no chance.
Okay, steal second, steal third. That's pretty cool.
Pretty awesome. Catcher going to throw the ball back to the pitcher. They're going to get ready. Try to get this guy out at the plate.
2 steals.
De La Cruz had already looked a couple of times at Brian Anderson, knowing that if he got
there he goes.
He's going home. The throw.
Not even close. It's unbelievable. He's unbelievable.
Catcher throws the ball back to the pitcher. Yep. Pitcher just kind of does the walk around the mound, maybe wipe your brow. And while he's doing that, he's got his back to the plate. Ellie just takes off.
Steals second, steals third, steals home. My buddy Kevin texted me and asked me, have you seen that before? I go, maybe somebody. And then I saw the text come from the Athletic, the update. Ellie De La Cruz makes history. Rookie becomes first Reds player to steal every base in the same inning since Greasy Neal did it in 1919.
Yes.
Old Greasy Neal. So I don't know who else has done it. Somebody I'm sure has, but the second Reds player to ever do it since 1919. Greasy Neal and Ellie De La Cruz. The kid is a superstar, and many are saying he needs to be in Seattle right now. I mean, how do you have the most exciting player in baseball? I know he's been in the big leagues for a few weeks or whatever. He is
probably about a month.
He's an electric factory. So that is Don't and Do This on a Monday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, so listen, it's been fun. It's been positive. We got to talk about Friday night. That was a heartbreaker. Kept me up that night till about midnight, just sitting there staring at the ceiling. And I feel bad. Because I hate roasting our sweet, sweet prince, Hassan Kim. And he feels bad too.
Hassan Kim.
So that's good enough for me. We'll talk about that game. We'll talk about Verlander. We'll talk about all of it that happened on Friday night. We'll take your calls too, 833-288-0973. We'll do some math. Math is always fun. And we'll figure out exactly what the Padres need to do to get into the dance.
And coming up at the top of the hour, 8 o'clock, we'll do a little reset. You teased me on Friday. You said you made another Amazon purchase.
Yes.
Or Instagram?
Nope, Amazon.
Now, this was not ambient induced?
This is not induced. I bought this of my own free will and volition. You
said if you gave me 1,000 guesses, I wouldn't even come close.
I brought it. It's here.
I cannot wait.
Yeah, it's here. I'll tell you guys about it. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Welcome back, Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Happy Monday to you out there. Good series this weekend at home. Taking 2 or 3 from the Mets, 2 teams that were almost identical going into it, identical records, same, just separated by millimeters, essentially. But, man, I do think the Padres played much better baseball than the New York Mets over the weekend, and I do think the Padres are a better team than the New York Mets. And, in fact, so much so that I was so disappointed after Friday night's loss. It was hard to sleep. It really was. I anticipated that game all day long. Friday night, you knew Petco Park was going to be rocking. And again, we've been positive all morning. So if you're tuning in and you're like, dude, what's up with the negativity? Go back and listen. It was awesome. Saturday was awesome. Sunday was awesome. Yesterday was fantastic. But Friday night really, really sucked. And the Padres, again, failed to win an extra inning game and really not even compete in an extra inning game. It's just been the biggest bugaboo for this team. And I did get the text from Ben that night that said this. I'll pull it for you guys. But yeah, a really, really unfortunate L that night and made worse by.
Tell me all about it. I was stuffing my face with Benihana.
Yeah, you were.
And there was a TV in the bar area that we were seated next to. I was able to follow along for the majority of the game, and close fought game for the first, 8-9 innings. And then
you get to Verlander
like
early.
I think it was like the bottom of the 8th when we were leaving and we're watching like Manny's last at bat. I'm like, all right, well, here we go. And by the time we left Benihana's in Carlsbad, got home in Escondido, I go, we lost by like 5 runs and extras. Okay.
Well, we lost by 2. That was because Manny hit a late home run to cut it to 2. But
we gave up 4 runs in the 11th, I think.
So Higgy texts me Friday night at 10 o'clock. I went, man, bullpen is washed right now. Ben writes this. Hey, if they just split their extra inning games, and then they're a game out of a wild card. Yeah, but they haven't split their extra inning game. They haven't. They're 0-8, so they haven't split them.
If
we'd won every game,
if they just went back and won every game that
they lost, we'd be undefeated.
Probably going to already have a playoff spot crunched up.
Yeah. If I had lifted weights 6 days a week for the last 30 years, I'd be in better shape. I didn't. I can't. I haven't. I can't do it now. I can try now, but I can't go back and change what happened. His never-ending positivity. I didn't even respond. Usually I respond something snarky. I just laid there.
Just didn't even have it.
I didn't have it in me anymore. Hey, if we had just worked that way. 0-8 in extras this year. And it's just brutal. Now, made way worse, exacerbated by, a super hustly player trying to make a play. We'll get into the Ha-Seong Kim play and the water cooler and the toe. All of that is next after traffic.
From the Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the Premier Auto family, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Drive the Oil Change, your 15-minute instant drive the oil change. Anybody out there on the roads is liking the rides. You're still going to see the usual spots, but at least no incidents or accidents making it any tougher for you out there. Stop by any of the 30 San Diego Valvoline Instant Drive the Oil Change centers. You don't have to get out of your car, and it usually only takes 15 minutes or less. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for discounts and locations nearest you. Valvoline Oil Change centers are open 7 days a week. I'm Kelly Danica Fentonwood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Yeah, so it was tough. It was a really, really tough one. Ha-Seong Kim, late in the game, absolutely ropes a double down the line, and he's running down the line. And I thought when the camera panned to Tommy Pham, I said, he's Cadillacing this a little bit. Pham picks up the ball, kind of gives it a beat, almost kind of daring Ha-Seong Kim to go second to third. There's no reason, none whatsoever. Ha-Seong Kim and Tommy Pham, they know each other well. They collided in the outfield. Tommy Pham, for all his faults, number one, he's having a fantastic year for the Mets. He really is. His OPS is 850. He's really playing well for them.
No.
And Tommy Pham has a pretty strong arm. And Tommy Pham is playing in a position he knows very well, in a ballpark he knows very well. And he knows if he goes, I can get him. Boy, did he get him. He got him. Now, Ha-Seong Kim made a weird, funky swim move, and but he was out by – the ball beat him there by a good, solid 7 feet. I mean, he was toast at third base. Toast. Stands up, does the flip out like, no, look at it. Well, they looked at it. Gotcha, man. Gotcha. And it was really regrettable. Then Juan Soto comes up, wraps a double to the left side, and all right, that could have been it. And listen, the Padres were a little thin in the pen. They went to Garcia in the 7th, Tim Hill in the 8th, Nick Martinez in the 9th. Everything went pretty well. And then kind of ran out of bodies and went to Tom Cosgrove, who had pitched well, but he pitched a lot. And I believe we had just been singing his praises that day, of course. And Brent Honeywell, who's been a gas can. There's just no other way to look at it. Brent Honeywell is, I don't know where you pitch him. I just don't know what you do. There was a reason he hadn't pitched in 5 days.
We're running out of guys that are in that same boat.
Yeah, no question about it. It's just
somebody's got to pitch.
Somebody's got to pitch at some point. So I did see people on Twitter, hey, we just had an off day. Where's Josh Hader? Well, he pitched 3 games in a row. Everyone knew he was down. If you follow baseball, you knew Josh Hader was unavailable Friday night. Yell at Josh Hader. It's not Bob Melvin's fault. Josh Hader was unavailable, but everybody knew that he was down, right? Everybody knew that he was not going to. And I literally saw tweets that were like, here we go again. Josh Hader just sitting down there. Do you really walk this one through? Bob Melvin, 3-time manager of the year, looks at his roster, holds it up, close game, and he goes, Hader, no, I don't want to put him in. Nah, I'm going to pass on Josh Hader. No, he's down. If the reason you didn't see him because he was unavailable, that's why. I'm not trying to be a jerk here, but you got to use your head before you tweet sometimes. No manager would willingly go off of Josh Hader if he could use Josh Hader ever. Now, Bob Melvin did that in the playoffs that one time. I get that. But in this case, he was down. He was down. He was not coming in. He was unavailable. You're going to have to find a way to win without him. And the game plan for the San Diego Padres moving forward, Paulie, for the rest of the season cannot be have a big enough lead so that you don't need Josh Hader, or have a 2-3 run lead a few times a week to use Josh Hader. It can't be. You have to have other guys that you can rely on in that bullpen. You just have to. And Suarez, if he gets back healthy, and Wilson, if he gets back healthy, great. Problem solved. But they're still going to have to figure out who's the high leverage guy in the 7th, who's the high leverage guy in the 8th. Some days Hader's going to be down. Suarez is going to have to close.
Yep.
Hopefully you didn't use him.
But you're fine with that.
Hopefully you didn't use him in the 7th or 8th to get out of a big jam the day before.
When you signed Suarez, we all were saying, hey, like he's the heir apparent, right? He's going to be the setup man. He's going to be the 8th inning guy all year for Hader. And then Hader's gone and boom, you already got you.
Slide right in.
Don't even have to worry about it.
This team could use more help in the bullpen. They really, really could use more help in the bullpen. And I know guys are getting refreshed right now, and we'll see. And Luis Garcia had the
biggest
pitch. He pitched pretty good. This weekend. I know he gave up a bomb, but he did pitch pretty well this weekend. He looks like he might be turning the corner a little bit.
Bullpen reinforcements, the biggest area to address at the trade deadline?
Gotta have it. You just have to. You have to have it. You have to have it. One arm, maybe two.
There's a lot of holes still on this team.
A lot of holes.
Catcher, first base.
Yep.
You could use another outfielder. Could use several relievers.
DH.
You're not going to be able to fill all the holes at the trade deadline.
Matt Carpenter is not. You cannot go into the second half really with Matt Carpenter as your DH on most nights. So, and I don't know that Brandon Dixon and Matt Carpenter platoon is the answer. So, there are a lot of holes. It's going to be tough to fill with what you got. But man. So anyway, after the play, Ha-Seong Kim was mortified. He was mortified at what he did. He's in scoring position, and I hate it for him. But again, it's a symptom of a team that's underachieved massively this year, and it's a symptom of a guy wanting to do too much, when, in fact, you didn't have to. You just didn't have to. You're already in scoring position. You know that. Goes in. He kicks what he thinks is an empty water cooler. It wasn't empty. It was full.
Oh, my God.
And hurts his toe. And as somebody that has punched walls and punched lockers and punched doors, sometimes it doesn't work out in your favor. It's a good lesson. And he was so upset about it after the game. He was mortified, which makes me love him more. He made a mistake. He has given us so much more than he's taken from us. That guy. He made a mistake. It's going to happen. But man, he was upset. Bob Melvin talked about that in the game after.
Bob, I know we've talked about this before, but what do you make of the extra innings struggles and what needs to happen for the?
Well, it is what it is. I mean, we can't get past it. But I mean, you give up 4 runs in the 10th, it's going to be a tough one to come back from.
What did you think of Cosgrove in that 10th inning? A couple balls found holes there.
Yeah, I mean, look, look, he's 5 out of 7. I mean, it's an extreme workload. We didn't even want to use him tonight. But yeah, not balls that were hit hard. You put him in play, something may happen.
What did you think of Darvish tonight, kind of grinding through it after he hadn't pitched in a while?
Yeah, I think there was a little bit out of sync. You know, he's missing with some pitches that normally, you know, whether it's backdoor breaking balls or whatever, he was just a little off maybe in his rhythm with being out that long. You know, gave us 5 innings, only gave up 3 runs at the time. We're still in, you know, a good chance to win the game, but probably not his best stuff.
Oh, Kim coming out of the game there. What happened there?
Yeah, he jammed his toe. He got a little frustrated after the play at third. Kicked something on the way up and jammed his toe. So he got some X-rays, but they came back negative.
Something in the dugout, or
I don't know. I think it was on his way
in the tunnel
up the tunnel.
Yep.
Are you hopeful he'll be back soon? It's too early to tell.
Know. It was enough to have to bring him out of the game. It's probably not going to feel better tomorrow.
So, as the guy that sat on these airwaves and said, Ben asked me last week, "What do you want to see, Woodsy?" And I said, "I wash."
Well, you got it.
I got it. Be careful what you wish for. I forgive you. We all forgive you. He's been legendarily good this year. He really has, and multiple positions. The guy should win a Gold Glove. Should have been an All-Star. He's been phenomenal. And his quotes after Paulie was like the saddest, sweetest thing I've ever read. And he plays so hard. I hated it too. He plays so hard for this team and the city and its fans. You get a pass, man. You get a pass. Absolutely, you get a pass. And don't change a thing, man. Don't change a thing. It was a really, really poor decision at the time. But again, that stems from a massively underachieving team that has needed
anything.
They needed a spark, and we've seen it. We've seen guys try to do too much all season. You know, that's something in the second half I'd love to see. I'd love to see him. Ben had a good point. He said, I want them to play a little more loose, a little more cocky, believing, you know, who they are. They're better than their record shows. They are. We all know that. That's no big declaration. This team is way better.
Playing cocky and loose, though, does lead to mistakes like that. It can. So you got to find the balance.
Well, no. See, I think the opposite.
I think a cocky Ha-Seong Kim thinks, I can beat that throw.
I
think a cocky Juan Soto goes, try to run go home. I'm throwing you out. Right?
No,
there's a balance there.
There is, but I look at it the other way. I feel like if you're tight, that's when you're like, ooh, I'm going to try to do too much. And I think we've got guys on this team that are like, I've got to make a play. I've got to make a play. I've got to make a play. When in reality, it's okay. Like I hit a double. A double's good enough right here. There's no one's going to get on him. No one's going to get on him for not taking third there on a play to left field. The ball plays right in front of him. He knows Tommy Pham's got a good arm. He knows he's going to be out by 15 feet. Now he's got to make a good throw. He did. And Tommy Pham laughing after it gutted my soul. It just gutted my soul when I saw it. So listen. So that was the loss on Friday. It stuck. I slept so poorly. I laid awake that night and just stared at the ceiling. And then, 4:00 in the morning, my kids come in. I'm just like, oh my God, it's going to be such a long day.
Tommy Pham wasted 0 time posting that highlight to his Instagram
story
on Friday night.
I mean, I can't take it away from him. I can't take it away from him. The laugh on his face after he did it, it robbed my soul. It really did. He looked like, what? On me? And man, he got him. So that was a tough one on Friday night. But I love the rebound. I love coming back and winning the next 2. And taking it to Scherzer yesterday was certainly a treat. But yeah, you got to score more than 3 off of Verlander. You just do. He's not what he was at all. So you got to put the wood to him, and they didn't. But a tough series again for Xander Bogaerts. I'm glad he's got the cortisone shot. Even when he did, he walked on Saturday and he got picked off. And I'm just like, oh my God, it's just so frustrating to watch. But all these guys are going to have to come together, play a lot better in the second half, and try to figure out what exactly the Padres need to do. That's for us to decide. It's not for them. They can't sit there and go into the second half of the season, Paulie, with a number in mind. I think that's when you really get in trouble. When you go in,
number's 1.
We got to go. Yeah, the number's 1. we need to go 47-20 for the next. It just you can't play baseball like that. They have to play it one day at a time. Bob Melvin is the guy, though, that needs to be doing the look ahead to figure out this doubleheader. Hopefully, doesn't just murder us on Saturday. We come right back, game on Friday in Philly, and then right into a doubleheader for no apparent reason on Saturday. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Do we have the bullets to get through those 4 games and playing a team that's in the wild card hunt as well? You got a chance to do some damage here if you're the San Diego Padres, and you have to come out of the gate hot. You just do, man. So hope you guys are ready. We'll be here for you every day trying to talk about it and
it's
figure
now
it out.
at the point where it's either going to be the most epic 3 months in show history for sure, and maybe in Padres history, or just severe, massive disappointment.
Looking forward to that.
There's no in between at this point.
No, and if there is an in between, and if they just go 500, it's the worst. It's just the worst. So, yes. This is what you sign up for, though. You want a team that you believe is in contention. It's exactly what you want.
Tell me next what you bought
I'll show
on
you.
Amazon.
I'll show you guys.
You weren't drunk?
Nope. I barely drank.
Ambien? Nothing?
Yeah. What do you guys see this? All right, we are halfway home on a Monday morning. It's Woodsy and Paul in here. And this is one of the worst things probably.
So let's, if anybody's new to the show,
yeah,
you have been known from time to time. It's been a while actually.
It has.
To make pretty obscure purchases. It's usually late at night.
Yes.
Maybe you've taken some Ambien.
Yep.
It's usually been Instagram ads that get you, which is just the funniest thing to me.
I bought in the last year or so. I bought a Joe Frazier hoodie. You know me as much as I love boxing and Joe Frazier.
You every morning me and Ben have to shut you down.
Yeah,
all you want to do is talk about
boxing.
The big fight from yesteryear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, big Joe Frazier fan. Bought that. My wife hates it more than anything. I bought that. I bought some protein milk,
chocolate milk,
on Instagram. I've been in a pretty tremendous amount of pain in my hands lately, and I'm pretty sure it's carpal tunnel. I've been getting acoustic wave therapy on it, and it's helping. But I wear a brace, the splint at night. It's really mostly my left hand, but I've always had pretty weak wrists. So I've always taped my wrists. You played golf with me before, Paulie. I've had to tape my wrists.
Yep.
Had arthritis in my knuckles. It just sucks. Like my hands hurt a lot. And so it's terrible. And I don't want to, I'm not trying to get hooked on OxyContin or anything like just to ease the pain or perks or anything like that. And so I don't really take a lot of stuff for it. But I do look for other ways to help. You can probably.
I hear something.
Like a vibration.
That's just.
So I'm looking online on Amazon for a new splint, and I see this thing, and I said, "Oh, that looks good." Hand massager. So I read a few reviews. Great reviews. It's the comfier hand massager, and it's got a heat setting in it, and so I bought it. It was like $70, and it arrived to the house, and I've got it now.
It's the size of like a waffle iron.
Yeah, it looks like you can make waffles in it, and so I bought it. And I put it next to my desk. My wife walked in. She said, "What the hell is that?" I said, "That's my new hand massager." She goes, "You're an idiot. You need to go to the doctor." I said, "Well, I have a doctor's appointment set for an orthopedist, which I don't know what an orthopedist is going to do, but it was her recommendation. So you have to do it or she's going to wear you out about it." So that's for next Monday. But to ease some of the pain in my hands, Paulie, I bought this comfier.
How's it working?
Hand massager. It feels pretty good. I mean, it's good. It feels good. You want to try it?
Yeah, bring that ass over here.
I'm going to turn it off here. Okay. And you can change this.
Does it have to be plugged in?
Yeah, it's one of these deals. Got to be plugged in. It doesn't charge or anything. Put that down. Get yourself a little taste of that. I remember that guy that said on Twitter one time, Woods is a parrot. And I said, man, that sounds mean. And I looked up what a parrot means. And that's what I am. I am a parrot. I'm a parrot. I'm a sucker, a rube, basically, is what that means. And I said, yeah, I'll try this thing. Now, it was on Amazon. It was a highly recommended hand massager. James says in here, treat yourself. At least
I hit the power button.
You hit the power button in the middle.
Okay. Ooh.
Elisa says in the chat, have you ever bought a box, show up and have no idea what you bought? All the time. It's happened to me 100 times. I bought a picnic set. One time I didn't remember buying. I bought some Peter Luger steakhouse sauce, a case of it. Had no idea that I bought it. Online, went to their website, bought it. So yeah, put your hand in there. You feel it?
Turned on the heat.
Turn on the heat.
It's like a nice handhold.
Yeah. So.
Jason. Okay. Did I miss how much?
How much what? $70.
$70.
$70. If it was 75, I wouldn't have done it. And if it was 60, I would have thought that's too cheap.
So 70 is
the sweet spot. So I did. I got a hand massager. It's here in studio. It's not bad, huh?
Not bad. I don't know that it's really doing anything for me.
Freaks the hell out of my kids. My kids are like, what are you doing? I'm like, just come here, put your hand on it. They won't do it. So it's working a little bit. Feels okay. But yeah, just the pain in the hands is real. It's real. There you go. I wish I could do something to but and I thought, I'm thinking about this. You want to hear heartbreaking, Paul? The things I love to do the most in this world: play golf, play baseball, play guitar. You know how hard it is to do with a left wrist to play baseball? It's your bottom hand.
Yep.
To play golf, it's your
lead hand.
My lead hand. Guitar. I'm trying to play guitar yesterday. Curling my wrist.
That might hurt the most.
It was awful. It was terrible. Those are the things in this world, other than, doing this job and like playing with my children. Those are the three things I love to do more than anything. I haven't been able to hit balls. I'm playing adult ball again. I couldn't go yesterday, but I haven't been able to hit off the tee. I haven't really been able to take grounders. Like, it sucks. I laugh about it, but at the end of the day, those are the things that make me the happiest in this life, is sitting in my office playing my guitar. Yesterday I plugged in and was like, nope. I was trying to learn a new song, and it was like one of those where it wasn't just normal chords. It was picking something. So my hands were like this, trying to like on the frets. And I went, oh, that's it. I played for 3 minutes and I had to put it away. And it's a bummer. It's a huge, huge bummer. So I'm wearing the braces. I should probably wear them to work every day. But yeah, it sucks. So I'm trying to figure it out.
I can't imagine how that came up on your feed.
What?
No, this was Amazon, right?
Amazon,
you sought this out.
I sought this out. I did.
Because I was thinking about my Instagram feed. It honestly makes me uncomfortable to like think too much about Big Brother and like Amazon.
Oh yeah.
We have an Alexa device. We have a couple in our house, and like that thing has to be your phone or your smart speaker. For you to just say the words, "Hey Alexa," and it turns on, like that means it's always listening to you.
Yeah, it's always listening.
I don't like going down that road.
No.
But over the weekend, like on Friday night, I was telling Megan how I really want to look into, and I did some research over the weekend, getting a turntable set up.
Boom.
And getting some vinyl records. Like we have a few that have been like framed and, they're decorative. I love vinyl records, but we want to start a collection. It gives us something to search for together, whether we're hunting for it online or going to a record store on the weekend or whatever. We're both on board, and I want to do it right. I'm not going to go to, Target or Best Buy and get like the $150 all-in-one. I found out all-in-one is not good.
No.
And so I'm working on it. But like within 12 hours of having these discussions, all of a sudden my Instagram feed is like the promoted ads are all record players.
All right, here's where Dad Woods comes in.
Please.
Be careful this path you're on. It is highly addictive.
Yeah.
Collecting records. It is, and
I can see that.
It's really fun until you have to move. And then you move and you're like, how? My wife is she doesn't relent on much. She's relented on the records. You do see the gleam in her, or the look of disappointment though, when the flat package arrives to the house and it can be nothing but a vinyl record.
Right.
She loses her mind. And she's like, another record. And I'm like, oh God. So I'm full on Mission Impossible when I order a record to like try to be home to intercept it. So
what would you say? What's the average price you pay per record?
$40. Yeah. And
so obviously there's some collectible ones that are much more, but then you can also find some for like a couple of bucks.
Yeah, you go to
digging.
But see, I don't buy.
You don't want like a used record?
No, I don't mind used records. I like used records. But what I don't buy is filler. I try not to buy filler. Like, oh, cool, I get 10 records for $1.
Right.
And I'm not. I've
heard of one of those songs.
If the record doesn't move me, I try not to buy it. Or it doesn't have some sentimental value. So. I'm not even sure what I have in my collection.
I think we'd probably be on the same.
Probably, yeah.
That.
You buy stuff that you want to hear. But just warning you now. I'm warning you now. It's massively expensive and it's massively, massively addictive. And I like collecting things too. I like to have it. Mm-hmm. I have collectible records that I'll never play. But I like knowing that I have one of 300 of these records.
Like do you buy Have you ever bought a vinyl record knowing I'm not even opening this?
Correct. Yeah, a bunch.
Yeah.
I've got Guns N' Roses' first EP that they ever did, and I paid a fortune for it because I wanted it.
See, I don't know that maybe I would get to that stage, but I don't foresee
No,
myself
not maybe.
being
You
there.
will. You will get to that stage.
Like I wouldn't care to buy some limited edition record of Rumors. I just want Rumors because I want to be able to play that on a weekend when we're just hanging out around the house.
It's awesome. I love it. But
I never really had messed with a record player, a turntable before.
It's fun.
And then we stayed at a really sweet place in Palm Springs, an Airbnb, for a bachelor party last year. And they had the whole setup. It was a nice turntable connected to the speakers throughout the entire house and out by the pool. And I'm just like, this is so much more fun than just plugging in your phone and playing off of Spotify.
Yeah, it forces you to listen to the whole record. And
I love that.
I grew up in that generation. I got back to it. And no, I'm fully addicted. Weird.
I think I settled. I did a lot of homework over the weekend. I settled on the turntable I want to get. Now it's a matter of figuring out the right speakers and, probably get some sort of they have the table that you can put it up on top and then all the records go underneath.
Get a crate for all your records. But no, I mean, welcome to the revolution, pal.
I'll be there soon. I'll let you know.
I got a few that you can have. I got some doubles and some things. Yeah. Right. Hey, I forgot I bought that one. So now I have two.
Hey, I bought this on Ambien.
Yeah, that's true. I've bought quite a few records on that. So listen, we'll get back to some baseball here. At 8:35, very excited about this guest, Erik Kratz, who has been a backup catcher in the big leagues, finally retired, but he's been with, I think, 12 teams in 11 years, has a new book out called The Tao of the Backup Catcher. It is a fascinating position to me. He's got stories for days, Erik Kratz does. Really, really funny dude. Been looking forward to this for a while. So he'll join us at 8:35. In-season Sammy coming up at 9:35. Let's crush some Padres talk the last couple of hours of this show. That's what we love to do the most. We'll take your calls as well. Call us next, 833-288-0975. We'll look back a little bit at the first tab.
Start over.
What?
0975.
What did I say? Whose number is that?
833-288-97.5.
What did I say? What did I say? 0973.
That's the correct.
Scared me. 0973.
288-0973.
Or you can call 0975. That means we'll have to take callers. It's Ben and Woods 97.5, The Fan. from Santa Barbara. Be good to see him. Hopefully he's tanned and relaxed and ready to jam. He's going to want to talk about all 3 games. I mean, it's going to be an interesting week on Ben and Woods. Ben and Woods summer break, even though we'll be here working. It's really a chance for us to stretch our legs a little bit because while at the end of the day, we probably should have taken the week off. We're going to come in and break down the home run derby tomorrow and
4 straight hours.
4 straight hours of home run derby talk. We should do our picks. Combined home runs. How many guys are in it?
8. And it's head-to-head matchups.
Okay.
So I'll see if I can print off a bracket.
Yeah, print off a bracket.
Go through that.
This is where we're at. It's the All-Star break, and it's a little bit of a dead time. It doesn't have to be. We can challenge ourselves to do some fun and creative radio. We could come in and rip calls for the whole show if we wanted to, but I don't think we want to. Calls we had last week did not go well. Just did not go well.
You guys have been better.
Yeah, it was rough. It was a little bit rough. Might have set me up for a bad weekend, but we'll see. We'll see what Ben brings to the table, fresh off of a vacation. Chance for him to stretch his legs again. But yeah, excited to be here with you. 2 of 3 from the Mets. Padres made a draft selection last night. They took high schooler Dillion Head out of Illinois, the 25th pick in the draft. And, listen, he's a speedy outfielder. I think with every draft pick, super high ceiling. And if he can just get his power figured out, this, that, and the other. He hit 485, 6 bombs, and 31 bags as a senior at Homewood Flossmoor High School in Illinois. And this is a chance for A.J. Preller and company to restock the farm system a little bit. Lost a lot of prospects to in the Juan Soto deal. We'll see how that pans out. I mean, Juan Soto is one of the best hitters in baseball, at least numbers-wise right now. I know a lot of Padre fans are still pretty tough on Soto and didn't have a great series against the Mets. Did not by any stretch. Still finds his way on base. Had what should have been an RBI double on Friday night, did not work out that way. But, he's still a very dangerous player. OPS, one of the best in the league. We all know it. We need to see more from everybody in the lineup, and we're finally starting to see it from Manny. Manny was instrumental in the win yesterday. Crony's got to pick it up in the second half. Xander's got to pick it up in the second half. Soto, as good as his OPS, he's doing what he needs to do. He's getting on base. And now he finally has guys driving him in. So, everybody needs to play better in the second half. You're going to need to see some pretty remarkable stuff for the Padres to go on a run. And it just sucks because now you have not built up any sort of cushion. In fact, you're chasing 500 still 4 games below 500 right now. It's baffling. It's just baffling. I never would have thought this team would be below. I owe somebody $20. Somebody and I, we made this bet. He's popped up on the chat a couple of times. I don't remember his name. I owe you 20.
If he's listening, I'm sure he'll come running here.
I'm like, give me your Venmo, and I'll say I pay my bets. I pay all my bets, my debts, whatever. I'll pay you. You just got to tell me. You got to DM me on Instagram. You got to find me.
$20 bet that they would not be below 500.
Yeah, I said you're out of your mind. He said they would be. I said you're out of your mind. There's no way.
When was this made?
Early
season.
Early. Like when they got off to a bit of a rough start, and I was still in last season mode of like, are you out of your mind? This team's going to be phenomenal. This team's going to be 20 games above 500. And still chasing that watermark of 500.
5-1 this homestand. I mean, it shows how abysmal the road trip was.
No
before
doubt.
That because I'm like, so 4 games under 500
and 6 back in the wild card.
Jesus God!
I know it's really, really tough. It's going to be tough sledding. And
we talked about it earlier. You got a chance to make up some significant room in the standings there. You're 5.5 back of Philly, who's half a game out of the wild card spot, final wild card spot.
Yep.
And you have a 4 games in 3 days series coming up with them starting Friday afternoon.
Here we go.
So you want to make some ground. There you go.
There you go. You can really start to pick
right
it
out
up
of the chute
right now. And Philly had been playing a little bit better as well. Really, really well on the road. I think they finally had their first home or their first road loss last week in like 19 games or something. So look, it's time to get serious. It's a good question to ask. If they grind it out and just play their tails off and come up short, it's still a disappointing season. As fun as that run will be,
Oh, yeah.
Right. And if you don't make the playoffs, it's an abject failure.
That's what I said. Like, it's either just severe, depressing heartbreak or the most exciting 3 months we've ever had.
You can see people, Ben, being like, hey, listen, that's really all you can ask for. They just, they grinded hard. Philly was one game better.
Do not forget, we spent all off season and all of spring training, World Series or bust.
Right.
Get there at least.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Pennant or bust.
And now, but no, your expectations have to change. And I think, what can't happen? Well, you're realistic. Your realistic expectations have to change. We had to change 6 weeks ago. Ben said, all right, it's time
so
to
if
hit
they got in, so right now the expectation is get to the dance, get into the playoffs. But if they get into the playoffs and lose in the first round, a 3-game wild card series, that's still a massively disappointing season.
Two things can be true. Massively disappointing season based on preseason expectations. Also, pretty solid run after the whole
salvaged a bit of a season.
Yeah, after the hole you dug yourself in. I think two things can be true. We don't have to be so black and white
because I'm not Mr. Only one team can have a successful season.
Right.
I'm not that guy.
No,
but it was win the National League and go to the World Series, or else it's a disappointing season.
Correct.
And now it's getting to the dance, or it's a disappointing season. But
now it's just play well in the second half. Give us something to root for. It's wild.
I think this team, for it to not be massively disappointing season, they got to get to the NLCS again.
I agree. Let's go to Tim. Let's go to Tim out in Oceanside. Been holding on. Tim, how you doing,
What's
buddy?
Up, Tim?
Hey, good morning, guys. How you doing?
Doing well, man.
Hey, I want to touch on something you and Paul were talking about earlier about, I used to always say in all my years of coaching, 2 things I would tell every team at some point in the season when the time was right: play hard and have fun, play smart, not dumb.
Yep.
And I think you have to have that balance that Paul mentioned. I think it's essential to winning. But I'll let you guys go. I got a quick little update for you because I hear you play my promo from 2 years ago every once in a while when I told you I had my daughter. She'll be 2 August 13th. And I want you to know Catalina's doing well. She's the reason I live.
Oh, I love that, man. That. Yeah, he was what was the promo? Do you remember, Paulie?
I don't. Tim, are you the guy?
You older than
I got the daughter. Right? I'm 66. I got a 2-year-old daughter.
I'm 48, almost 48. It'll be 48 in a couple of weeks, and falling apart. I have a hand massager in here, Tim.
I tell everybody. I took a picture the other day. She was leaning on my shoulder. My wife took a picture, and I put it on my Instagram. I said, I wonder if she realizes I need her way more than she needs me. 100%. My reason to live.
100%. Both of mine. Reasons to get up in the morning and come and take the abuse that I take in here sometimes. So I love that story, Tim. Thank you for the call. 66. He's got a 2-year-old. Gives me a lot of, I should stop complaining because I'm dying. My kids almost killed me this week. They really did. I love them to death, but oh my gosh. It was one of those challenging weekends. Bo is 5 and he's 15. Straight up 15 years old.
What the hell is it going to be like when he is 15?
I'm fully expecting to walk around the corner and him just blasting a Pall Mall one day with like a cold beer in his hand. He is so far advanced, which is, it's good and bad. But anyway, thank you for the call, Tim. I do appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, look, what's fun? Winning's fun. And we've seen this team really look like they're coming together. For some reason, still haven't been able to scratch out 4 wins in a row. Just cannot do it for the life of them.
I thought for sure Friday.
It counts. It counts. They won 2. You got to win the first 2. There it is. That's how. These little tiny watermarks, benchmarks that the Padres need to get to. It starts on Friday with the game against the Phillies. That would be 3 in a row, Paul. It still counts even with a week between. We will take a break. When we come back, we're going to be talking to Erik Kratz. Got a new book out. You know the name. You know the face. Been around baseball a ton.
12 teams in 10 years.
Yeah, he's incredible story.
What is that? How do you live like
that? I know.
That?
That's what I want to ask him.
Just bouncing around city to city, team to team, just renting out.
Yeah, your services, and it's just wild.
I mean, making probably not great money, but
I think I looked yesterday. I think his total was like $3 million in his career.
Even rookie minimum, because he was like 2010, I think was his rookie year.
Yeah.
So 2010 to 2020, like decent living for sure, but you don't know where you're going to play in 6 months.
Got a book called The Tao of the Backup Catcher. We'll talk to him next. I'm really excited to talk to him and get some baseball stories. So we'll do that next. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. All right, we got him on the line. We got to check traffic first. We're going to be joined next on the premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline by Erik Kratz. Got a new book coming out. Man, I can't wait to read this thing. Can't wait to talk to him. We'll do that right after.
Of a backup
catcher, man. It's one of the most fascinating positions in all of sports. We'll get into that next after traffic.
From the premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the Premier Auto family, here's Kelly Danick.
Always nice when the freeways behave themselves on a Monday morning as we ease our way back into a work week. Yeah, we're not showing any problems at this time, guys. In fact, not really showing a whole lot of slowing out of the Santee area. Westbound 52, westbound 8 looks good. Westbound King Freeway, you're in good shape all the way into downtown. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And joining us now on the premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline, live from Seattle, right out at the All-Star game, former big league catcher Erik Kratz. How are you, my friend?
I'm great. Yeah, I get to enjoy an All-Star game. Never came close to making one.
It's probably easier to start with the teams that you didn't play for and that you didn't sign with at some point, right?
That is correct.
Well-traveled is, I think, the term that they use in the industry, my friend.
Yes, it is. I had a heartbeat and a catcher's mitt, so they gave me a job every once in a while.
Well, it's pretty amazing when you run down the list of accomplishments that you've had. You played with a ton of teams, the Pirates couple times, all right, Pirates couple times, Phillies, Blue Jays, Royals, Phillies again, Astros, Yankees, Brewers, Giants, Rays, and back with the Yankees again before you retired. Was Mrs. Kratz really excited when you finally retired?
She was definitely excited. She was excited for my retirement. I would say 2 or 3 years before I retired, but it talks about it in the book. Tim, the author, goes, "She's the wolf. If you guys remember Pulp Fiction,
oh yeah,
the wolf comes in and cleans everything up.
Oh yeah,
actually nothing was there. Yeah. That's my wife's the wolf. She wasn't sure if she liked that nickname, but it's grown on her for sure.
Well, she was the one that you had to say, "Oh, guess what? I'm off to spring training in Clearwater, Florida. So we need to find a place to live. We got to pack up here. We got to move." And man, what an unsung hero in the story of Erik Kratz.
Oh my gosh. And Tim really hits it well in the book about how much she really does. Spring training was actually the best time because I never got traded in a spring training or released until the end of spring training. So it was like the one solidified time. But the one time I got traded to the Royals, I was in a hot tub at the field at 6:35 p.m. and I was on a flight at 6:30 a.m. out of Buffalo, and we had 2 apartments, one in Toronto, one in Buffalo. And it was like, she's like, "I'll clean both of them out. Don't worry about it. Plus the kids. Man. We'll see you."
That's That's absolutely unbelievable. That's absolutely crazy. My wife doesn't even let me play adult baseball on the weekends, Erik. So, I mean, you know, give your wife a kiss and tell her how much you appreciate it, because that's truly remarkable. We're joined by a former big league catcher, Erik Kratz. Got a new book coming out tomorrow, The Tao of the Backup Catcher. And there's got to be a point, man, when you're young and you're playing ball and you've got aspirations of being a big leaguer, right? Like all of us do and have at some point in our life. And then you get your shot. When did it sink in for you? And I don't take this wrong way, but when did this sink in for you when you're like, okay, this is my role now, and I'm probably not going to be the marquee catcher on a team's roster?
I think that's probably what kept me going the whole time is the fact that it never sunk in. You know, I knew, you know, my role was going to be a backup catcher, but you prepare yourself like, dude, what if that guy goes down? What if you got to catch 100 games? What if you have to? And for me, mostly it was in AAA. But it wasn't until I was 38. Yeah, 38 in Milwaukee. And, you know, I had to catch a bunch of games and essentially almost kind of be the starting catcher.
Yeah.
Not quite like a big time role, but it was a role that I was thrust into. The team wasn't like, oh man, this is the guy we definitely are going to the playoffs with. No shot.
It's so fascinating to me, that role. And it's different. It's different. I think the backup quarterback in the NFL is certainly a different position, you know, and I've always said that's a really enviable job, you know, the backup quarterback to a Tom Brady. And you're like, bro, I'm not playing much. I'm going to hold this clipboard. I'm going to prepare the scout team and pretend I'm the other quarterback for a day. What is essentially the role of a backup catcher that maybe we, the common fan, doesn't know?
Oh man, I think some guys take it differently. I feel like the way that I approached it, and I think Tim hits on it really well in the book about how it's like some days you're a priest, some days you're a best friend, some days you're, a referee in a fight ring. I think there's so many things that as a backup catcher, sometimes, and I'm actually sitting next to one of the better fringe Hall of Fame catchers, AJ Przinsky, right now.
Yep.
He needs a caddy. There's some days that those guys, the starters, need a caddy. They're ignorant to think that they can play every single day. And you know what? When you're out there, no kid in the stands is like, holy cow, that's so awesome. Erik Kratz is playing today. No, they're like, dang it, Dad, why'd we get tickets to this game if AJ's not catching? So you're constantly figuring out what your role is on the team, what's your best opportunity is to help the team. Most of the time, it's not going to be hitting a dinger in the 7th inning because they're pinch hitting for you. It's going to be the relationships that you have with the guys. It's going to be catching pens. And then you know what? There's a time when you got a pinch run for the starting catcher and you got to go, boom. You got to step in and say, all right, I'm the guy here. And if you're not ready, they'll go get somebody else.
It's so true. We're talking to Erik Kratz here, former big league catcher. He's an author now. He's got a book coming out tomorrow, The Tao of the Backup Catcher. Can't wait to read it, man, and looking forward to getting inside the head of that position. And I'll tell you, it's interesting that you're talking to us here in San Diego because AJ Preller, our general manager, traded for a catcher in Austin Nola from the Seattle Mariners. He was a 300 hitter, newish to the position, transition from infield, and really had done a great job, caught every single inning of our playoff run last year. And then you could see him. He just kind of ran out of gas. Not sure why we didn't go to the backup catcher, Jorge Alfaro, but they didn't. And he really, really, he kind of ingrained himself to everyone here as like, oh man, what a grinder. Well, now he's had such a rough start to the season. We brought in Gary Sanchez, and it seems that Austin Nola has lost his role. How difficult, I don't know if you know Austin at all or have talked to him, but it's got to be a tough spot for somebody to look and say, yeah, I'm not in the lineup anymore.
That is so tough. But I think one of the reasons, because I know Aaron better than I know Austin, one of the reasons they picked him up was because of the type of person he is.
Yeah.
And I don't think they picked him up saying, oh, he's going to be our, like I said before about myself, like, oh, he's going to be the guy in the playoffs. He played himself into that role. And you have to be honest, he played himself into the role he has right now. The team's struggling. And he cares so deeply about his pitchers. And sometimes when you don't hit and the whole team's not hitting, the whole team's not winning, they got to figure it out. And it's not just a free position. People, very seldom is it a Martin Maldonado type of situation with the Astros where they sit there and they go, oh, well, it doesn't matter what he hits. Okay, well, they're making that decision, but they constantly are talking about it. Like, it does matter what you hit. It's a spot in the lineup, and you can't have a hole in the lineup unless you keep winning. And the Astros kept winning last year, and he kept catching, and he has an incredible ability behind the dish. And I think Austin also has that type of ability. But you know what? The team needs a stick back there, and so I think they've kind of gone with Gary a little bit.
Yeah, they have. And Gary, great start here, is kind of fallen off a little bit. Had a couple knocks over the weekend, some big hits, as it were, in the series against the Mets. But as far as getting ready, for you as the backup catcher, you have to do essentially everything that the starting catcher does as well. You got to go over the pitchers. You got to go over the pinch hitters and everything else. For the starting catcher who has to do this day in and day out, people really don't realize how difficult that role is on a baseball team, do they?
No, they do not. I mean, the good ones. I've seen some that don't do anything, that don't prepare at all. But the starting catcher, and I have a tough time arguing with somebody that says, oh, this team made the playoffs and they didn't have a very good starting catcher. Like, I would, and maybe I'm biased, but I just think that position, you have to expect this guy to essentially revolve his life around getting those 9 innings of outs, however that is that night, whether it's a perfect game or your starter gets bounced in the first inning. Like it's a position that, as much as, you know, this book is about backup catchers, starting catchers are doing the same thing. They just are probably better looking and they make more money.
And the great ones that we've seen over, you know, I grew up in Texas, so I grew up watching Pudge Rodriguez, and he made it look so easy. And I think, you know, when you watch Yadi Molina and you watch Pudge Rodriguez or a couple guys that grew up watching, you're like, oh yeah, I mean, they make it look so freaking easy. It must be easy to do. And it's certainly not. And not only that, all the things that you just said, Eric, but you also have to contribute offensively, and you also have to run the bases, and you got to get back and get your gear on, and you got to know your team inside and out and the other team inside and out for every series. It almost feels, if you let yourself think about it, it's one of the crazier positions in sports.
Oh, it totally is. I mean, I think, you know, physically demanding and like talent wise, I think you look at a hockey goalie, I think, you know, with reaction times and all that stuff, I think that is a tougher position. I think reading offenses, I mean, reading defenses, reading secondaries, the fake coverages, the different options that you're running as a quarterback, I think is very difficult. But catching in the big leagues, like, there's a mental side of it and there's clearly a physical side of it. And the physical side of it can never get in the way of the mental side. Like, it sounds simple, but it's something that these catchers in the big leagues sit here and go, well, I got to do it. Most of them be like, if I was more athletic, I'd be a shortstop.
Right.
But the mental toll is part of the reason why most of these guys become managers. It's a lot easier. You see the game way differently than other players. And I think it's tough for some guys in other positions to become managers because they never caught and they never saw a center fielder get a bad jump but still dive and make the catch. They've never seen how pitchers or talk to pitchers because, you know, they're struggling at this, or how do they get through that, or, you know, they're kind of the go-between. They're the connection between the Latins and Americans. We talk about it in the book that they're the connection between position players and pitchers. They get to know 13 guys on the team, and then they also get to know the position players too. So I love it. I think baseball, probably my ADD would have kicked in and I wouldn't have played anymore, because catching, it suffices your ADD. There is more and more to learn every single day.
That's phenomenal information. Talking to Erik Kratz here on Ben and Woods this morning. Got a book coming out, The Tao of the Backup Catcher. So, look, baseball players notorious for stories. I mean, there's stories for days. Give me one. Give me like your you don't have to name names or anything if you don't want to, but you certainly can. What is your favorite story? Maybe your favorite moment on a baseball field when you were playing, or just watching, observing from the best seat in the house?
From a game I played in, or
Sure.
One that other people told me?
Oh, you can do that too. That's fine. I just love baseball player stories.
Oh man, I'm trying to think. I won't. You have to read the book. I won't say.
Oh, I will.
Book stories.
I will.
So I'm trying to think of one that's not from the book. Well, here's a good one. So we are in. Where is it? Ogden, Utah.
Okay.
Ogden, Utah. We're facing. It was my rookie year. First year we're drafted, and I'm playing for Medicine Hat, Alberta. We go down and we play the Brewers rookie ball team, and Prince Fielder's on the team. Prince Fielder's 18 years old, about 290 pounds of solid muscle at 18. And he hits 2 just massive homers, pimps it, all this stuff. Next time up, my roommate, after his 2 homers, next time up, my roommate, Bubby Buzzacaro, He has, I know, name like greatest name in baseball.
Perfect baseball.
He has him 0-2, and he throws one up and in, like way up and in, drops him, and Prince Fielder stands there and he's like, I know what you're doing. He goes, my dad played. I know what you're doing. And we're like, of course, we know your dad played. Next pitch, way in again, but he swings, jam job, base hit. My buddy, my roommate is 165 pounds, 5'7", and he's running around first base, and he forearm shivers Prince Fielder as he's going by. Didn't move him a second. So the standard like baseball, bench clearing, blah blah blah, whatever. We end up making a mound visit. No, I'm sorry. We end up making a pitching change. Our manager brings in a kid named Yesin Baroa. Okay. Yesin Baroa. I said, hey, we're going to go fastball 1, slider. And before I even said slider 3, he goes, I don't care. And I'm like, okay.
All right.
Next, first pitch of his outing, right at the dude's head.
Oh, my God.
Kid like ducks, helmet, bench clearing brawl.
Oh, my God.
We're running out there, and I hear Prince Fielder from behind me, and he's like, what's up now? And he's like dancing around, and I'm like keeping my head on a swivel. I go to take one swing at a guy, connect, and then I went to take a swing with my left hand, completely fall on the ground, get pushed from behind, and I start getting kicked. All right.
Oh my God.
So I'm on the ground, kicked, and I feel somebody on top of me. And this is a time when like Under Armour wasn't that big yet.
Right.
And I feel somebody's like Under Armour sleeve, that like smooth sleeve. And I felt that, and I just took one swing. And I definitely connected on somebody, and I'm like, and I cover back up, and I feel that Under Armour sleeve again, and I bite it. I bit it. Like I was in mongoose mode.
Yes.
So I bit the Under Armour sleeve, and all of a sudden you hear people like, "All right, that's enough, guys, that's enough." And I start opening my eyes, and and laying over top of me with his like hands on each side of me, like covering me up, is their 62-year-old first base coach, bleeding from the top of his nose.
Oh my God!
And he's got Under Armour sleeves on.
Oh my God!
You beat up the old guy. You beat up the old guy. You beat up the old guy
who was protecting me.
Oh, dude, Eric, we are out of time. I could have done this for the next hour. So everyone out there, go buy the book, The Tao of the Backup Catcher, on sale tomorrow. Thank you, my friend, for the time. Love to catch up with you again. I know Adam Jones is a regular on your podcast, and we have Adam. We have Adam on every single week. So, man, we really, really appreciate the time this morning. Have a blast up in Seattle.
No doubt, guys. I really appreciate y'all having me on, and yeah, check out Foul Territory. We got a bunch of stuff going on. Jason Kipnis is on, AJ Brzezinski, Lorenzo Kane, Todd Frazier, everybody. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Love it. It's our pleasure. The great Erik Kratz joined us on the premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline with an absolute banger of a story. You can save money the right way with Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Visit them today in the Carlsbad Auto Mall. Chevrolet, find new roads. Yeah, man. Paulie, I could listen to baseball players tell stories for days. I mean, I really could. It's some of my favorite. The things that I've heard about some of my buddies that played in the minors would tell me stories, and I just sit like quiet and listening intently to some of the scenes and things that have happened down there. But that was awesome. I'm so glad we were able to get him on. Erik Kratz, again, get his book, The Tao of the Backup Catcher. Cannot wait to read that. I think we have a copy, so I'm going to try to read a lot of it today. Probably should have done that yesterday.
I sent it to you yesterday.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Good.
Glad you did your homework.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just wind that guy up, let him go. All right. In-season Sammy going to join us. Got a Reindl Report next. Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. Paulie and I just reliving in here some of our favorite All-Star game moments, personally. Go ahead with yours, because I think I've got you beat.
All right, we'll find out. So the All-Star game, of course, is in Seattle tomorrow night. Home Run Derby tonight.
Yep.
And grew up in Seattle, and watching MLB Network here in the studio, and they're showing the replay of the 2001 All-Star game. That was the last time it was in Seattle. I remember it fondly. That summer was just that Mariners team won 116 games. And I'm looking up. I'm like, oh, yeah, there's Cal Ripken's home run. Go to break, and I go to Woodsy. I say, yeah, the old 2001 All-Star game's on up in Seattle. My dad went. Didn't take me.
Took his buddy.
took his buddy. Wasn't long after that. Well, he split. I hope they had fun.
You son of a bitch. I'm in there. I'm like, oh no, Paulie. And then it jogged my memory.
Like, man, I was, let's see, I turned 11 that September. So I was 10 years old. Glued to the radio or the TV every single day. This team, they won 116 games. They didn't lose a series until like the last week of September. This team was dominant. They had 8 All-Stars and the manager.
In Seattle.
And
your old man goes, hey, I got tickets. I'm taking Fred, though. You're not coming. So suck it. Dad, if you're listening, you can turn the radio off for a moment.
Oh, no. What did Gary do?
So,
what did Gary do?
Do we agree, parents out there, if your kids are going off to college, that's a banner day? Yeah?
Yeah,
I'd say so.
Like packing up the car, moving out.
Even if your kid is an idiot and has to go to summer school to get in, and his getting in is contingent upon his summer school grades. Still a big day to move 6 hours from home and go off to college and get dialed in at the dorms and everything else. Right? Big day. Yeah. We all agree. By the way, just for the record, if Bo's 11 and the All-Star game is back in San Diego, I'm not taking Foster, okay? I'm taking Bo to the game with me, and I'm going to try my best to get a ticket for Taylor. He may not care. But
hey,
Bo,
what the hell is that cheap shot for?
Shut up. It's me and you, man. I told you. I'm taking Bo. Just for the record. So 1993 comes around, Paulie. I graduate high school in April? And, I'm working on trying to get into Texas Tech University in Lubbock, Texas. And, sure, you can get in, but you have to get a 3.0 in summer school, and you got to take a couple classes, and then we'll let you in contingent. Okay, great. Yeah. Both my parents went to the All-Star game in Camden Yards instead. I went with myself.
Oh.
It explains a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
My dad comes back.
Gary.
So my mom at the time worked for a sport card company called Pinnacle. Remember them? Yeah. Great cards. Did a summer job.
Pinnacle.
Yeah, did a summer job there in the factory. It was fun. It was
awesome.
Great. It was rad. Like I have cards at home, like closets full from when my mom worked there. And Pinnacle was a huge thing, and they had to go, and they're like, yeah, sorry, we're going. I was like, well, I'm going to college. And they're like, yeah, you're on your own. Figure it out. I remember. I'll never forget, ever. I flew to Lubbock, no car. Got to the airport, and there were 6 boxes, maybe the size, like maybe 4 or 5 feet tall, loaded with all my stuff that they shipped. And I had to get them, load them in a cab somehow. I can't remember exactly how, like a van, and went to my dorm and moved in by myself and checked in by myself and everything else. But
you and me are just
it's identical.
2 birds of I flew with my stuff late August of 2009. Loaded up a couple of bags in a big box that I like duct taped together and just threw it on a plane and
figured it out.
Landed and got a cab to San Diego State University. So hi, I'm here for the dorms. I don't know where I'm going. I'm by myself.
My mom comes home. They come home. Oh, my dad calls. Oh, we met Steve Garvey and we met Ted Wood. I'm like, I don't care. I'm literally in the middle of nowhere. Nowhere. I had no idea what I was doing. Nobody to help me.
Oh my God.
And explains a lot. So sorry, Dad. Just so you know, 30 years I've been processing that, and I still can't get over it. 30 years later. I'm glad you had a good time, though. It looked fun.
Yeah.
You and the pictures of Steve Garvey was great. It was great. Hope you guys had a great time at that All-Star Game festivities as I was going off to college. So how about get to your segment here, Paul?
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a yeah? Oh, yeah.
All right.
All right.
Satan's Blowfish says, it's super lucky. Most people's parents aren't paying to ship anything. Really? That's what you want to take away from that? You should have been in the car, drive me down there. All right, you dialed in. Let's go to Target and get your room all day. Like, right? That's normal, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say
Or
so.
do most parents say,
Have
you're
fun.
off to college, see you later?
Figure it out.
And they got their payback. Paid them back in droves and spades. Sorry, Dad. Love you.
Love you too, Gary. Dad. All right. I'm going to start with the story in the NBA, and I need you to try to take off the blinders. 'Cause
Okay.
I know you're not a big NBA fan,
Love the NBA.
especially early in the season, but the NBA unveiled something new over the weekend. I wanted to get your thoughts on this. They are going to be doing the NBA Cup to start the regular season. Now, these are going to be regular season games.
Okay.
It's an in-season tournament that Adam Silver it's been in his brain for a while, molded after like the World Cup, for example.
Okay.
There will be group stages, pool play, and then the knockout stage.
What is the purpose? To garner more interest from people like me?
To get a little bit more intensity, a little bit more interest on the first month of the season. So it will start on Friday, November 3rd, which has got to be the first Friday of the NBA season.
Okay.
And it's going to go until the championship will be Saturday, December 9th.
Okay. Month in a week, 5 weeks.
It's the whole goal is to just get a little bit more enthusiasm, a little bit more interest for the first month. Because look, I like the NBA. NBA starts on Christmas morning. Like that's when the NBA season starts for me.
Okay.
So what they're going to do is you got your regular season schedule is already set. Every Tuesday and Friday on your schedule, those are tournament days. And they have six groups for group stage. 6 groups with 5 teams, 3 for the Western Conference, 3 for the Eastern Conference. And you will play 4 games. So over the course of 2 weeks, Tuesday and Friday, you will play 4 games in pool play style.
Okay.
Against the 4, you don't need to worry about all the teams right now. Like for example, one group of the West is the Lakers, the Trailblazers, the Jazz, the Suns, and the Memphis Grizzlies.
Okay. I'm on board so far.
So if you're the Lakers, you will play those 4 teams. And then it goes to the knockout rounds. 8 teams will advance to the knockout stage. And then the team with the best standing in group play is the one that advanced, blah, blah. So then it goes you get to December. They're going to take the 4 teams. The semifinals will be on Thursday, December 7th, and this will be in Las Vegas. So kind of like the Final Four.
Okay.
Is all in one big stadium. And they have back-to-back games for the semifinals. And then the championship will be on Saturday, December 9th at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas.
The only thing I question is, are you going to change your style of coaching? Are you going to change your plan for the ultimate prize, which is the NBA championship, which is, that's what you play the 82 games for? How much will this change? If you're Popovich or you want to, if you're a coach, and not that they have championship aspirations. I mean, if you're the 76ers and you want to get that title, Paulie, are you going to change much about how you manage those games, right? If Embiid needs a day, you're not, well, it's Thursday. We got to get him ready. It's a tournament. Like, I don't know how much it's going to change. I think in theory, it's a good idea. I really do. But I just, Dominic makes the point in the chat. I question whether or not the players are even going to care. I'm with you. I'm with you there.
So there's a prize pool, a little bit of money.
Yeah.
So players if you make it to the quarterfinals, players on the losing team will make $50,000 each. Players
chump change for those guys, man.
Players on the losing team of the semifinals will make $100,000 each.
Okay.
Players on the losing team for the championship will make $200,000 for getting there. And if you win the championship, each player on the team will win $500,000.
Okay. I mean, I like the idea in theory. I don't know how much it's going to change. Nobody says, why can't sports just be sports? I know. I feel that, man. I do. Always trying to trick something up. I get it. I think you have to innovate if you're in a sport like basketball. If you're in a sport like baseball,
baseball is the closest comp.
We've seen a lot of innovations, and many people don't like it. And sometimes I look to the most vocal critics of some of the new rule changes, and then I see who the vocal critics are, and I go, "Oh, cool. That means this is right. This is working." That means if some of those critics aren't in favor of more runs and bigger bases and quicker game times, I feel like then we're on the right path. I do.
Yeah.
Jeff Fry. I'm talking about Jeff Fry, right? Like that's who I'm speaking.
Like, yeah, I wasn't blown away when I heard about this whole tournament, and then kind of just reading how it breaks down. I'm like, fine.
Boogie doesn't like it. Boogie, aka
to
Boogie.
Me, it's still a Tuesday night in November.
Yeah,
it doesn't really
matter.
A whole lot, but if it gets more interest in the game.
He says, why is Silver trying to turn basketball into soccer? I mean, soccer is the most popular sport in the world. That's probably why.
A decent model, honestly.
Probably why.
Yeah.
It has always blown my mind when my soccer friends are telling me, this tournament, and then now it's this, and then it's Champions League. And
nothing but tournaments.
It's just like, holy smokes, man. But it works for them. It works for them. And that's that's a fair comp, basketball and soccer. The athleticism, a lot of running, the banging on the bodies. It's pretty close. So I think maybe it'll be great. Who knows? I
think you get to play. You play 4 games in the group stage, 2 on the road, 2 will be home games. Again, I don't know how many people in Oklahoma City are like, oh, it's tournament game tonight. Actually, we better get tickets.
I mean, maybe. You never know.
I think it's kind of cool that it'll culminate in one city for the semifinals
and
the championship.
I think, we'll see how it plays out. I don't know that it's going to get me to watch much more than I normally would at the beginning of a basketball season, but it's not for me. Maybe this could be good for the league down the road. We'll see how it goes. So that's an interesting story, though.
Yeah. All right. Locally, San Diego. We were this close. We were this close to a championship over the weekend.
So close.
Talking, of course, a little Major League Rugby as the San Diego Legion fell to the New England Free Jacks.
By 1. Do they call it points? By 1 point.
I don't think they call them runs.
It's not runs. Points by 1
They
point.
lost 25-24 over the weekend. This was at SeatGeek Stadium in Chicago.
Favored to win.
They were favored. They led at halftime. They were up 17-13, and they just couldn't get it done. The Legion had they were on a 14-match winning streak heading into that final game, and they fell by 1 point.
San Diego sports curse lives on.
What's happening in this town?
On.
I know, but hey, great season for the Legion.
Man,
finally, I got a story here. A judge in Canada recently ruled that emojis can be legally binding.
For
example, got a story here. A farmer in Saskatchewan and a company that he was trying to buy, selling some grain. So back in 2021, a buyer for the company sent a mass text to a bunch of farmers trying to get them to buy about 100 tons of grain. A guy named Chris Actor, farmer, called him back. They talked it through. The buyer then texted the farmer a message to please confirm the contract.
Right.
The man texted back just a thumbs up emoji.
No way.
Claims he never even read the contract yet. He was just trying to let the guy know.
Got it.
So I saw your text. And the deal fell through when he didn't get the grant that he was supposed to get, and the company sued him, and blah 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 blah. So this went to court, and the judge called it a non-traditional but valid signature.
Wow!
Thumbs up
all right,
emoji.
so be careful.
And he now has to pay the farmer has to pay $61,000 plus interest.
Yeah, now I have
damages.
100 tons of grain that I did not want because I said a thumbs up emoji.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So be
Paulie.
careful.
Be careful what you
emojis.
send. Yeah, it's embarrassing as a 48, almost 48-year-old man. I'm a big emoji guy, huge emoji guy, huge. Love the emoji. It works. Thumbs up from the wife is you're dead.
Yeah. Oh.
I
Or
do.
you can hold it, hit the light, the thumbs up.
If I get the thumbs up from my missus, dead man walking. Don't come home.
You know things are
bad.
rough, and you send a text. Hey, how you doing over there? How's everything going at home?
Thumbs up.
If she likes that text
dead.
or a thumbs up emoji, you're dead, man.
Yep, that's exactly right. Now it's legally binding. So
Start planning the hotel for that.
thank you, Paulie.
You're very
Appreciate you very much. Still interested in that NBA story. That is, I'm gonna mull that over. I wonder what basketball Ben will think of it. We'll ask him tomorrow when he returns from his third vacation. And
ultimately, it's not gonna. It doesn't bother me. And
it doesn't bother me.
If it can spark some interest and some fun, fine.
Yeah, you like.
But if it's
you like that it's in Vegas. You like when things are in.
Yeah, we go on to the championship. Actually, maybe. No, I mean, look, if
This guy
LeBron
loves
James,
Vegas.
if LeBron James needs a day off, load management
On a Thursday, they're gonna give it to him.
He's getting it.
Yeah, he's
It's
getting
not-
it. Hey, bro, we need you today. It's a tournament game. No one cares. No
He's
one
like,
cares.
What do we get? 500 grand if we win this thing?
I'll give you 500
Here's
grand not to play. Yeah,
500,000, exactly.
100%. 100%. All right, we'll be right back. It's Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. All right, home run derby tonight. Excited about it. I always watch the home run derby. Love the new format.
Love it.
Get this thing going. Quicker.
That was one thing I was very unsure about.
Oh, I love it.
And
I think it's great.
The first round of the first year that they did it, I was like, done. I'm sold.
They said in the broadcast yesterday, Pete Alonso had a terrible, terrible series here against the Padres. He was actually prepping a little bit for the home run derby.
Why am I not surprised?
He's in it like every year, number one. So at some point, you go, are we going to get some fresh blood in here? Polar Bear getting his.
I'm going to go grab our brackets.
Oh, you got our brackets?
Hang
Okay.
tight.
Polar Bear at Petco Park working on his home run derby swing in the middle of a season that's really gone down the tubes for the Mets. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird to be in here alone. Paulie's not here. It's just me. He ran out to the printer. So I will wait. Here he comes. That was very weird being in here solo. Oh, God. All right. So you've got Luis Robert Jr. against Adley Rutschman. You've got Adolis Garcia against Randy Arozarena. Pete Alonso against hometown kid Julio Rodriguez. And you got Mookie Betts, who is on a home run tear, against Vladdy Jr. Mookie Betts has 26 bombs at the break. God bless. How do they do it? It's crazy.
He's got a lot of leadoff home runs.
Yeah,
too.
man. Yeah.
11 or 12, I think.
It's insane. I don't know. I mean, I like this. I like these players. My sneaky pick to win it all is Randy Arozarena. The dude has
I like that.
He has a flair.
I like that.
He has a flair for the dramatic, but I don't know. I really don't know. My gut tells me that the hometown kid's not going to do it, right? It's a lot of pressure. I am also remember Will Myers in his home run derby.
I was going to say, it just going off feel,
just gut.
The hometown guy doesn't usually.
It doesn't feel like they do it. I could be wrong, but I'd love to know.
The 2001 home run derby that my dad also went to. Our beloved Brett Boone was in that. He had a career year that year for the Mariners at second base. He had like 40 bombs.
Who won it that year?
Who did win it that year? Sammy Sosa, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Sounds
Boone
right.
had like 2.
Yeah, it's the hometown scene. All right, so I'll take Rutschman is a very sexy pick. He's the 8th seed, though. I'll go with Adley. And then I'm going to go Garcia against Arozarena. I'm going to go Randy. And then Vlad Jr. against Mookie. I'm going Vladdy. And then Julio against Pete. I think I got to take Pete. He takes this thing more seriously than he takes regular season games.
Okay, we almost were aligned there. I'm taking Adley, taking Arozarena on the left side of the bracket. I will take Julio just
to beat Pete Alonso.
Yeah, I'll take Julio in the first round. Don't feel confident about it. And then I'm going to take Vlad as well.
Okay, I'm going to go Randy
over Adley Rutschman.
Yep. And then I'm going to go Vladdy. Go Randy against Vlad.
I got the same.
I'll take Randy to win it.
All right, I'll take Vladdy.
Score, I have no idea. Randy's going to hit total or in the last round?
I think that's
what's an average?
Oh, I don't know, actually. I think, does it restart?
I don't know. I'm just going to say Randy wins it.
All right, I'm taking Vladdy.
Okay.
It won't be a tie. We don't need a tiebreaker because there won't be a tie.
No, Benny, you don't get to play because you're not here. Join us. Okay.
You and your toes will be with us tomorrow.
Yeah, Ben will be here tomorrow with his creepy hooves that we saw on the on his,
I was not expecting
I was not either, dude. The guy finally tries to post a picture of him relaxing and put his feet out, and his toes were really spread. His big toe was very spread from the others, and it looked like he was it looked like somebody said it looks like a hoof, and it does. He looks like he has hooves, cloven feet.
Oh,
and that's also.
That's what it looks
like. So what are you doing out there by the pool, pal?
Sicko.
Benny will join us tomorrow. Let's talk some Padres baseball with in-season Sammy. All right, he's going to join us next. And I know look at us, man, bothering this guy on his break. Poor guy. All right, we'll talk.
Every Monday it seems like they have off.
That's true.
It feels like every Monday is an off day for Sammy.
That's true. We're going to use him anyway. Sammy
he was more than willing. We'll just kind of put a bow on the unofficial first half of the season.
It's official. It's official. right?
I mean, the first half officially was like a week and a half ago.
Yeah, with the numbers, but we're now at the halfway.
The ceremonious.
Yes, the halfway point.
Halfway point.
Yeah, there's fewer games to play now. Sammy Levitt will join us next here on Ben and Woods.
Sammy's in the chat right now.
Oh,
Hi,
I love
Sammy.
that. Hi, Samuel. Join you in a second, buddy. This hour on the Fan brought to you by South Norte Tequila Cocktails. Real tequila, real juice. Savor South Norte Premium Tequila Cocktails. Sip on a classic margarita or an authentic Paloma. Pop the top on the Mexican Mule and savor the Matador. Available at Stater Brothers, Ralph's, and more. Let's check traffic, then we will be joined by our beloved in-season Sammy Levitt.
From the Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the Premier Auto family, here's Kelly Danick.
Got a few problems here, guys. Two-car collision in the center divide on northbound 5. This is right before East Street. In our East County, westbound 8, just past Mullison. There's a collision involving a couple vehicles. There over the right shoulder, westbound 8, just past Taylor Street. Got a ladder in middle lanes. Haven't reported one of those in a while, so watch out for that. Westbound side of the 8, just past Taylor. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And joining us on the Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad Fan Hotline, the one, the only, Samuel Levitt. Good morning, Sammy.
Good morning, gentlemen. How we doing?
Sammy.
I gotta tell you, I woke up this morning, scrolling through Twitter, and I mean, second, third post I see, I just see feet.
Yeah.
And a pool.
Yep.
No caption from your guy, Ben Higgins. What is going on with that?
You ever see feet like that before? Because I have on a deer.
Is he a centaur?
Yeah, he's a centaur. He's half man, half horse. The weirdest looking hooves. He was trying. God love him for not like posting Lakers G League stats, but he tried to post a vacation picture, and even that got ripped apart. So I don't know what he's doing, Sammy. I don't know what he's thinking. He's lost it, but he's on vacation. He'll be back tomorrow. Thank you for jumping on. I know the All-Star break is upon us. Certainly got to feel for you and us and everybody else like it's going to be a nice little respite from covering this team for the first half.
Yeah, it's obviously been a very up and down first 90 games in pre-All-Star break portion of the schedule, and you zoom out, and for as good as the last week was, and it gives you a lot of confidence. It makes you feel a lot better about where this team is at heading into the break. It sounds crazy, but it felt like yesterday's game was a really big game. It really did. And I think to the Mets, and, listening to some stuff last night from Mets fans, it felt like a big game to them. There was a lot of disappointment in New York yesterday with Max Scherzer, again, not pitching very well, and what was a really big game yesterday. So it felt like a big series. It felt like a big game yesterday. It felt like a very important homestand, and they go 5-1. You can't complain about that. And hopefully it's a sign of things to come. And I think what gives you some confidence beyond just winning 5 of 6 to wrap up the break are a few things. And number one, the starting pitching continues to be terrific, whether it's Blake, whether it's Joe. Seth Lugo's been great since coming off the IL. Hopefully Michael Walker's back shortly after the All-Star break. He's been terrific. Yu Darvish has been a little bit more up and down, but that last start, he's coming off not pitching for 2+ weeks. And we know with you, the likelihood is that he will deliver a lot of good performances in the second half of the year. I mean, when you talk about going on the run they need to go on, I mean, obviously the offense has to be a major part of that, and the big guys have to play like stars. But I would say the starting pitching continuing to do this is arguably an equally as important part, because you need that kind of starting pitching if you're going to go on the run they need to go on. And look, what Manny's done has to give you a lot of confidence. The fact that Xander Bogaerts got the cortisone shot and will get a little break. Hopefully he can come back and be the guy we saw in the first few weeks. I mean, there was a clear delineation between the guy we saw in the first few weeks and then after he gets hit by the pitch, and there were some wrist issues. So hopefully the fact that he got the shot and then he's going to have some time off, we'll see, the player you more expect in Xander Bogaerts and all of it. And obviously getting the guys back in the bullpen and Suarez and Wilson, also a big deal. So look, I think they're relatively, when you zoom out, you look at the big picture, relatively set up well to do what they need to do in the second half. They have a lot of work to do, but as long as they keep doing what they're doing in some departments, the offense is what we expect the offense to be in the second half and better than obviously the overall picture in the first half. I think you have to have some hope and maybe even a little bit of confidence that they have what it takes to go on the kind of run they need to go on.
I agree. Talking to our pal Sammy Levitt here, in season Sammy on Ben and Woods this morning. We didn't talk about it today because mostly I'm an idiot and forgot. What was Buck Showalter doing yesterday? What's the risk reward of what he did to start the game yesterday by icing his crazy ass lunatic pitcher Max Scherzer with that weird challenge that he lost that definitely cost them later in the game?
So there were a few things yesterday with Buck that I didn't quite understand. The challenge I didn't get on two fronts. Number one, that's a really hard thing to overturn once they roll out a foul ball. I mean, unless you have a full replay of the entire net and you can tell that the ball never touched the net, I don't see how there's clear evidence that you're going to overturn that. And also, like you said, you're icing your starting pitcher, a guy who's very intense to begin with. And I'm sure he didn't say it after the game, but I'm sure didn't love having to wait around for a few minutes after, throwing one pitch. And the other part of it is the count's 0-1 on Kim to start the first inning. I'd be willing to bet that Max Scherzer in his head was like, can Kim just get back in the box and we'll finish this at bat? And I already got strike one on him. So I didn't get it. I thought it was hard to overturn one. And I thought just that early in the game, why use a challenge on that? I thought it was odd. And then the other part of the game that I thought was a little bit odd for the Mets was it's 5-0 after Scherzer goes 5 innings. And Buck went to, kind of the low leverage guys in his bullpen, did not go to guys, like a Brooks Raley. And obviously they've got Ottavino and Robertson and some other guys that they'll use in big spots. They didn't go to those guys. Now they had 4 innings to cover, but to me, with 4 days off after the game, I mean, it's a 5-0 game. You're not out of it. You've got work to do offensively, but it's not, the game's not over 5-0 at the end of the 5th inning. So
not against the San Diego Padres,
And so I thought that was odd too, the way he managed the bullpen. I just thought you could throw some of your better guys in the bullpen when you have 4 days off. So I agree with you. The challenge in the first inning, I thought on multiple fronts was odd and didn't work for him. And look, hey, give Ha-Seong Kim a lot of credit. And I thought this was an underrated storyline from yesterday. It didn't sound great last night as far as him playing it. I should say it didn't sound great on Saturday night when Bob Melvin spoke after the game that he was going to be available for a day game on Sunday. And lo and behold, he was back in the lineup yesterday and has a base hit off Scherzer to start that first inning rally that he doubles and sets up the Manny home run. So good for Kim, and had a couple of hits yesterday. So thankfully the kicking of the water coolers did not do all that much damage.
Well, you saw the repercussions of the aggressiveness rear their head, and thank God for the Manny home run, because I think Ha-Seong Kim should have scored on that ball that Tatis hit. But you saw him go, I'm gonna dial it back a little bit right now, and he did. And listen, it's a symptom, Sammy. I said it earlier of a team that's been struggling and scuffling and grinding, that just tries to do too much sometimes. And, I think it'll balance out. It will. I do believe that this will all balance out. And, you just hope that there's enough time. I mean, that's really the not only are we playing against, the Phillies and the Marlins and all these other teams ahead of us right now, you're playing against time, and you only have a certain number of games, and you have to win as many of those as you can. And you've taken it really, like, it's still in your control. You need to go out and win the games that you can win, but now you're going to be watching the scoreboard a little more closely, and it's going to change the way the team plays. I think it's going to change the way Bob Melvin manages in the second half. You've dug yourself into a hole. Will they pull out of it? That's the gazillion-dollar question for all of us, Sammy. And one, frankly, I'm excited to see if they can.
Yeah, look, I think 6 games out of a wild card spot going into the All-Star break is obviously not insurmountable, but at the same time, they have a lot of work to do, and they have to play an extremely high level of baseball day to day, really in all facets. And, it sounds cliche, but they need everything to really work at once. Like I said, the starting pitching needs to continue doing what it's done. obviously the big four in the offense, and you can put Ha-Seong Kim and Jake Cronenworth into that mix as well, alongside Batista, Machado, and Bogarts. Those guys all need to contribute, and especially the big four, Manny, Bogarts, need to drive in runs. And look, they've been better with runners in scoring position as of late. I don't know if most people realize
They
this,
have
but
a lot better.
Going back to June 22nd, 16 games ago, they've actually led baseball with a team batting average of runners in scoring position of 353. So and there have been some really big games with runners in scoring position in that span, but they have been better. They've got to be better in the late and close scenarios. Another team batting average stat where they haven't been great in. And look, we all know this, the issues with either tacking onto a lead, coming back in games, the problems in close games. They need to be good at all of it. They need to be a lot better at winning close games. They need to be a lot better at coming from behind late in games. They need the starting pitching. They need the big guys in the offense. They need the bullpen, which should get a boost with Wilson and Suarez coming back. And by the way, I thought a great sign and another good thing from over the weekend was seeing Nick Martinez being a lot sharper on Saturday. Seeing Luis Garcia, despite giving up the home run on Saturday, he looked sharper to me than he had since coming off the IL. You know, getting Suarez and Wilson back, big deal. But also getting guys like Martinez and Garcia right and getting them back into a groove, that's, to me, also a really big deal for that bullpen. And they're going to get some days off here. They've been worked a lot. So, again, like, you know, you look at this, it's got to be everything. I mean, they've got to play a very, very high level of baseball the rest of the way. If they do that, Woods and Paul, then they've got a really good shot to make up 6 games. That is not insurmountable at all. It's not. But they've got to do it, and hopefully this last week is obviously a sign of things to come and a sign that they can do that for an extended stretch. No,
we were talking about it earlier, Sammy. We're joined by in-season Sammy Levitt, Padres pre- and post-game host this morning on Ben and Woods. We're saying it starts Friday. You can make up some significant ground in the wild card standings with a team that's 5.5 games ahead of you, and you got 4 games against them with the weird scheduled doubleheader on Saturday. Have fun this weekend, Sammy.
Oh, God. That's a long day for you, bud.
Yeah, you know what? I have to talk to Adam, and I haven't done this yet, and I can't remember because
Let's do it right now on the air. He's listening.
Well, if I recall last year, because of the lockout, didn't we have a couple of scheduled doubleheaders, or am I crazy? I think we did because of the lockout.
Yes, we did.
And
that sounds right.
I can't, and I have to talk to Adam because I can't remember what we did pre and post, what we did between games. If we did, there's not that much time. So
you're in at 7 a.m. and you leave at 11 p.m. Just so you know.
Yeah, but the in between, I can't quite remember what we did. But yes, I will be there all day Saturday. And look, to your guys' point, yeah, it's a big series right out of the break. They got to be ready to go. You know, the Phillies have played well. Obviously, they're a good team. You know, they have high aspirations as well. It's another team, much like the Mets, that spends a lot of money and has a ton of star power and went to the World Series last year, and they want to win the World Series this year. So, yeah, it's an opportunity to go pick up some major ground right out of the All-Star break. So, look, every game they play the rest of the way is going to be important. But, yeah, those first 4 out of the break are super important. They've got to be ready to go for sure.
Well, oh my God, I'm looking at the schedule.
It's gnarly, isn't it? Phillies, Jays.
No, I'm just looking at Saturday's schedule.
Saturday's schedule.
Sammy. So that's a 9:05 a.m. Pacific time
pregame
show.
8:05.
So that means he'll be here at 6 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
Sammy gets here early. So 9 a.m. pregame show, 10:05 first pitch, 3 hours, let's call it. 1 o'clock game ends. So that means you do post game until 2. And then post game for the second, or pregame for the second game, is going to start at 3:05. You'll have an hour in between.
Oh, interesting. So the first pitch of the second game is not until 4:05 Pacific.
That's what it's scheduled for. Obviously, that can get pushed if the game goes long.
This is interesting. So there is actually, it's more of a day-night doubleheader than a single admission. All right, so I don't know that we did that last year, so we've got some logistics to figure out on 97.3 The
Great,
Fan.
I'm spending my off day scheduling with Adam all day.
Hey, Sam, can you cover 3 hours on a Saturday afternoon? How about 3 hours? Well, you know what? Maybe we'll play more of the Spraby podcast. Which, by the way, if you have not listened to them, they are excellent. Shout out to Matt Spraby, and they have been excellent rain delay theater and air quality delay theater.
Well, Adam knows not to ask us to fill some time.
Well, I was going to say, call me if you need me, Sam. I mean, call me. I don't know that I'll answer, but call me. You can still call me. I don't know if I'll be.
Woods likes to be invited. He doesn't like to go anywhere, but he likes to be invited.
Boy, you better invite me, though. Sammy, so yeah, a good chance for everyone, around the team and associated with the team to decompress, except us. We'll be here working. What do you have on the agenda this week?
Not much. Hanging out today. Thinking about maybe going to the zoo tomorrow.
Nice.
I haven't done that since I've lived here, so maybe that tomorrow. What do you guys have on Palm Springs?
Love Palm Springs. Phenomenal. Hot.
For Wednesday into Thursday.
No, you'll love it.
Somebody said I would have to find a place with a pool.
Yeah, you have.
So I heard on the news it's going to be pretty hot this week, and even
here,
inland San Diego is going to be in the 90s. Yep. So it's going to be real hot in Palm Springs.
Sammy,
I highly recommend.
It's a fun drive. You get to see the windmills out there, the whatever they're called. I don't know, the energy creators, but it's just really cool. It's a cool drive through the desert. Once you get through like Riverside and Menifee and all that, it's fun.
You're not a golfer.
Yeah, you're not a golfer, but you got great golf. But man, you'll love it. You got great food, place to unwind. You can take Bo and Taylor with you if you want to. They'd be happy to roll with you. Big Palm Springs fans, but no, it's a nice chance. It's a nice place to go and bake in the sun. In the heat.
Oh God!
Here we go. How hot?
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 112, 112, 113.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it takes your breath away a little bit, Sammy. But no, go get some relaxation. As I sit here, Paulie, I'm debating. I think we should probably just take one day off this. I think maybe we just need a bang Friday because I need to decompress too. I've not gotten any decompression. This team's killed me this season. We'll talk about it after the show. Sammy, we thank you for your time as always. We love you. Keep up the great work in the second half. And, we're in this thing together. And we really, really appreciate all the hard work.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. Yes,
right,
and
buddy.
if any tier ones have recommendations for Palm Springs, I may go out there.
Fire them away. It's an easy drive.
Say, Sammy.
It's easy drive if you don't have kids. And it's like everything's much easier if you don't have kids. He'll love it. He's going to love Palm Springs. I am so obsessed with the architecture in Palm Springs, the old school desert inn, how the signs are. I love it. I'm just so obsessed with it.
The whole city, it feels like screams like
Sinatra,
old Hollywood.
I want a steak
out in the desert.
I want a steak and a glass of whiskey every time I pull into Palm Springs. I'm obsessed with it. If I had all the money in the world, right? And we talk in my home a lot about all right, what's the pie in the sky thing to shoot for? My wife her dream would be to have a house in Tahoe. And I said, it's too inaccessible. You can't get there. I want to go on Friday.
Palm Springs is perfect.
All right, Ben and Woods, we're out. See you guys on Monday. I could get in the car at 10 and be in Palm Springs by 1, right? Easily. And I want a house there that looks like a U, that looks like with the pool in the middle. Yes, that's what I want.
Barbecue pit.
That's like my fantasy.
Area,
yes, that's my fantasy.
Yeah.
And
because it's an hour and a half, 2
it's
hour
doable.
drive. You feel like you have gotten out of town though.
Oh, 100%. You're on the sun.
Yeah.
You're standing on the sun. You've traveled to the sun. So I'm all in favor of that. So man, we will definitely be back tomorrow. Talk to Ben, see where his head's at. Maybe Paulie and I'll take the day off Friday and let Ben and Adam do it in here on Friday. I need a day. I need a day. But what do I do Friday? Sit at home?
Let's take Thursday off.
Come back Friday.
And make Ben work solo on Thursday. Thursday's going to be the worst day of the week.
Yeah.
At least Wednesday we'll have the All-Star
game
to talk about for like a segment.
The pomp and circumstance of the All-Star game, which I love.
We'll have a little bit of that on Tuesday night for Wednesday morning's show. Thursday, what the hell are we going to do?
It's going to get weird.
Have fun,
It's going to get really weird here. Summer break starts tomorrow for Ben and Woods. We don't exactly know what that looks like. Somebody recommended in my DMs, hey, you guys should broadcast from a pool. I'm in. Just tell me where to go. We got to make sure we can set up and broadcast, but I would broadcast from your pool tomorrow. Like I really, really would. Not yours, Foster. Other pools. Any other pools.
Oh, come on down to Casa de Foster.
But Foster's. We'll be back tomorrow. Benjamin will be here. Thanks for hanging with us. Yeah, and that's it. Paulie, what do you got planned today?
Getting a haircut.
Ooh.
Getting a haircut.
Fresh.
Yeah, it's about that time.
I've got an appointment.
It,
I'm going to bang it, and I'm going to go home and take a nap. I'm super tired. Super tired. Really appreciate you guys being with us. Home Run Derby tonight. I got my winner, Randy Rosarena. Paulie's got Vladdy.
Vlad Jr.
Don't know who Ben picked. Don't care. If you're not here, you don't get to participate. He can.
He probably picked Pete Alonso.
He probably did.
Mookie.
Man after
Mookie?
Mookie, yes. Well, let's give him Mookie. He's got Mookie.
He picks Mookie.
All right, Paulie. Ben gets Mookie. We'll be back tomorrow. Coach John Quintera is up next. Appreciate you guys being here with us as we slogged through a Monday. At least it was a victory Monday, a double victory Monday.
About damn
time.
time.
We'll be back tomorrow, 6 a.m. to do it all again. We are Ben and Woods. This is 97.3 The Fan.